on his forehead.
I think we're live, maybe. No, starting.
Did I nail it?
No, you absolutely did not nail it. But I think we are
Damn.
live finally.
Nice.
There we go. I think we're started. Here we go.
They won't stick to my face, dude. Just my forehead.
It's a bad
Yeah,
design, man.
Oh, look at this!
Hey.
Look at this hat.
No,
I gotta show you
it's
this
good.
hat
It's
my
just
mom
got
got
nothing.
me. It's from Wiener.
What'd you
Schnitzel.
get?
Check this out.
Shut up. That's tight.
No, party
Why is
till
it
the
not?
wieners come out.
Oh, boy.
Hey, heck yeah. I went to a Wiener Schnitzel party and all I got was this stupid hat.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you had more fun than we did, Brandon, this weekend. So, hanging out with all the wieners.
No,
Nah,
let's
he
relax.
just got
No, not me, not I.
no,
he got
not
the
me.
gift brought back. He missed out on the party.
Right. All right, guys. Well, let's get this stream started. We'll see if we have another guest pop in or not. It's just going to be a hit or miss at this point. So we will see. But we do got the seating bracket winner hanging out with us today. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, dude. Good. I'm home for like 2 days, and then I'm flying back to Long Beach for the Grand Prix.
Hell
Get
yeah.
to do some extra bonus laps for Super Drift, so that's super sick. But no, dude, I'm good. Big gentleman over here.
So while we're on the topic of the bonus laps, what is driving Long Beach at night like?
Way sicker. Way sicker. Way harder. Definitely the grip sets in quite a bit more. But no, dude, Super Drift is wild. Super Drift is cool. Just the whole atmosphere of having like the convention centers filled with all kinds of crazy stuff, like real, multi-million-dollar race teams besides RTR and the Sorensons, like out in the parking lot. Seeing each car have like 6 rigs that are like car mechanic logistics, like all, dude, it's wild. It's really cool. And seeing Andy kind of running around, running the whole show is really funny. It's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, from what I heard, it's like it's packed. Everyone loves it. It's just you don't hear much about it outside of it. It's weird, like.
Which is super weird. Yeah, dude, right? I'm surprised more drivers don't ask to do it. Maybe they do and they get turned down or something. I'm surprised it's not bigger than it is because it really feels like FD's putting on like a concert at the Grand Prix. It's not competitive vibes. It's just show and just you and the homies. And it's very like no prep drag race style. We have to park our trailers like 2 miles down the road and then we get to drop pretty much just our car, our jack, our tools, and some wheels in the convention center. So we get to park like inside the convention center, which is tight. And then when it's go time, it's just whatever you can fit in your car. And Kevin's got a golf cart or two, and you just kind of bring everything out. And it's just, go out, rip, load back up, and then same thing the next night.
That's cool. So do you guys get any practice, like, or is it just
a couple laps? Yeah, we get a couple laps. Yeah,
okay.
We get like probably three or 4 laps, I think.
Okay, that's just send it in the dark. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, no, it's pretty well lit.
Is it?
Luckily, I got the bright ass yellow headlights, so I'll light up the whole parking lot for everybody.
Hell yeah, that's
True.
cool.
Yeah.
No, definitely. If you guys are free this weekend, definitely go check it out. I know
For sure.
I'm pretty sure they do live stream it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
just as hype as FD, I'd say. Just
Yeah.
as many
Right.
people, it looks like, right?
I think more, dude. Well, I mean, the stands. The stands are the stands. You can fill up as much there, but as far as like the general area, there's like 300,000 people walking around. It feels like it's crazy.
it's cool.
It is very tight.
No, it's a cool event, but we are here because we had a big event this weekend, and first weekend for me, running a 3-man crew. Herbie,
Yeah, that's cool.
basically running the cameras out. shout out to the chat because we had over 2,500 people watching.
That's wild, dude. I always check in. I hop into your chats for a lot of pre stuff.
Yeah,
Trying to keep them entertained.
yeah,
Give the people what they want.
exactly.
Trying to.
And
Right.
the challenge is Long Beach is such a difficult track to film the live stream because we're shooting through fences the whole time.
For sure. Yeah.
Apart from like 2 spots. So,
Yeah, and you got to pick good angles too. You can only get like a couple zones, maybe
There's really
multiple
only
zones.
like too. Like if you really wanted to, like, you could make it from like a far distance and like,
Right.
but then ultimately from that far distance, you're only going to get a little bit of the track and you're only going to be a spec. It's like anybody can experience that.
Exactly.
If you go to an FD event, it's still cool
Right.
to like get that feeling of like, wow, this is like kind of what like it feels like to be right there, right next to where the fucking chaos is.
For sure, it is kind of the up closest you can get, huh?
Which,
Besides maybe New Jersey.
Yeah, which to be fair, this might
Yeah.
have been the smoothest, cleanest run FD round I've ever been to.
It was,
Bro, I felt that in practice. Practice was flying. There was maybe a couple small crashes, nothing like major to clean up. Definitely not like last year. But I was flying through practices. Actually, pretty funny because I usually get 4 to 6 practice laps. I feel like is my average, and I cranked out 10, and I was like, holy shit, dude! I gotta be I was doing. I think I got eight laps on a set of Kendas. As long as you let them cool down in between, yeah, and you get back in line. 6 to 8 laps during practice, and then we were swapping them out. We would do maybe 2, maybe 4 for comp, but we were actually using scrubs in comp because they're grippier. But yeah, so I'm jamming practice laps, and I'm like, holy shit, I got 10 laps. And then it got posted in the Discord afterwards, like, this many people got 12, this many people got 11, and then 3 drivers got 10. So I was like, oh shit, I'm still like on the lowest amount of practice laps. But it felt so good, dude. It wasn't the usual like do a lap and then wait in line for 40 minutes is what it feels like. Obviously not, but it was sick, dude. It was, yeah, everything went smooth. It was really nice.
there was really only like 2 hiccups, like I want to say like major. There were
Right.
like dings off the walls, but nothing like serious as of last.
Yeah, only one oil down. I think they only had to like spread kitty litter once and then maybe pick up some debris from another crash and tow somebody off. But
yeah, it was Dimitri that did the old bend and snap there, and
yep.
which ultimately it really wasn't that bad. Then you had Jack Shanahan's caliper leak some fluid onto the track, and then
yeah, that's crazy. They found it in the tire. It shot through the it shot through the barrel of the wheel and debeaded the tire.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
Yeah, that's wild. I've never heard of that.
And then you had Tommy, which right literally as he was coming around the last hairpin blew up. And yeah, so other than that, like those were the only 3 like slowdowns, and they were still fast because
Right.
Long Beach has so many people and it's so tight of a track. It's quick to get to everywhere.
For real.
No, it was really cool. I mean, I only got to film like 5 runs all weekend, but I got to watch all the streams from a trailer with my little laptop. But it definitely seemed like
That's nice. You should have got an Airbnb up in the apartment.
I know. But it just seemed like a weirdly like fast running event. Like it felt like, I don't know, in the live streams that even the FD, like the actual comp, seemed to be running pretty dang smoothly, like
For sure.
Usually like a major complaint is like how long some of the breaks or how long some of the weights take to get things done, and everyone was just basically keeping their car pretty clean,
Right.
and that's one of the things I want to talk about, like, because if you didn't make it through, I think that was one of the big reasons you made it so far is because you weren't tapping walls and correcting in the lead, and that was the biggest deal I think for the battles against you, or at least some of it,
Yeah, no, for sure. I was it's always going into round 1 with any car. It's conservative. As much as you want to bang out some heaters, dude, this is an endurance race. It's not a sprint. It's especially for low budget kind of privateers and stuff. It is end of the year in sight at all times.
Yeah,
100%.
Can't win the race on the first lap.
For real, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we'll get into some of the battles that you guys want to get to in the chat. There were a couple ones that actually one of the first times that I've heard like FD fans really boo was the Manoa was it Manoa and Forsberg?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Manoa.
Yeah, I've heard
that on the live stream.
Yeah,
Heard them
Manoa
booing.
Forsberg battle.
Right.
Oh, you could hear him over the live stream?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could.
Oh, that's
yeah,
crazy.
Booing.
That
It
was
was crazy.
But
that was definitely a funny
it was funny.
experience.
I talked to like So the judges afterwards are like, I don't know why everyone was booing. It's pretty obvious, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
why either.
So we'll get into it. Just it's again, it's an education thing. So let's be honest here.
Right.
Like, FD has been trying to prioritize different things in the past, and now they're trying to prioritize lead runs.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that for sure.
You know, and it's kind of hard for people to realize, hey, it's cool that this guy's on other guy's door, but when you flip him around, the other guy's not as close. Well, you also got to look at the lead card and look what he did. You know, like,
Right.
is he giving that other guy the opportunity to be as close? You know,
Right. Yeah.
and I think
Yeah, it's cool that they're trying to transition more into like the bro line too, so that way
Yes,
there
dude. I
are
like that. I like that a lot.
Because like it is cool to get like these technical tracks or like make technical layouts and things, but like you could still kind of like be technical while doing the bro line. Like you could still
sure.
have all these different crazy things, but not as like shallow diving into these like like oddball inner clips or like just cutting off other drivers while you're in the lead. So
Right.
I think that the like last year I know that they were still like focusing more on the lead, but then this year it really seemed like they're
well,
just
they made specific rule changes.
yeah, they're going more into it this year
for
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess the real question is, what do we want to hit first? Do we want to hit the new point system, because that's a little weird to kind of understand? I like it. Brandon hates it. We'll definitely get into it. Or we can actually get into some of the fun battles that actually happened this weekend. Because like one of the most telling battles of the whole weekend and how they were going to judge was you and Mata, I feel like.
Yeah, dude. I think that was a good example.
So why don't I
totally
actually
could've-
go pull it up right now? Because
That's a good idea. Heck yeah.
because I think that is a perfect iteration of what I think. If that was 2 years ago, I think he would have won, and he still
Yeah,
got both.
100%.
But
100%. I honestly still could have seen that one going one more time.
so
Even last year, that would have gone to him.
yeah,
You won that first, like flat out the first go around, right? You didn't one more.
Yeah, it
time?
wasn't. I went one more with Derek.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, you both fucking ripped. I know you guys are cousins, but I was shocked that like it didn't go one more time. One, because of that reason, but two, like those were just both sick runs. That was,
yeah, and
Right.
shout out to Austin too. By the way, he
For
threw down.
real. Yeah, I did.
dude, yeah, he
And
came
he had
out
no
of the box
practice on
hot,
Sunday
dude.
and still made it a battle against Manoa. So I was like, dude, you were
Yeah.
ripping.
Right.
I just
Yeah,
gotta
that
find
was-
the battle.
That was cool.
Was it like in the beginning of seeding? I can't remember. Or no, it was like
It was.
I found it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it was the beginning of seeding. It was the last battle of the bracket.
Cool. Now I just gotta change it so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. But yeah, so this battle, I think, like you said, is an epitome of. There it is, display capture. I believe that's what you guys want to look at, right? You guys see that?
Yep.
I can see
So-
half of it,
so-
but I watched it a couple times. I think I was there.
Yeah, it's weird, you
I
know.
was there.
All right, come on.
Yeah, just off of first memory, I think if he either wouldn't have been tire deep in one, or maybe didn't give me the little love tap around the inner in his chase.
I think it was the
either
entry.
of those two things. For sure, the entry was a little stepped, but I mean, I saw other people kind of doing that same entry that didn't get criticized as much.
Yeah. And so
but no, dude,
obviously
he's
you're
fast.
there.
I love him.
And like he was ripping, but like you said that he gets on throttle really late in that last zone, but then he like you said, he taps pretty hard in that first outer.
Yeah, I just went tire deep in one. If it was just a couple inches shallower, I think.
Which gave him kind of that
Yeah.
propulsion forward
Right.
a little bit.
Right.
So but look at the
Yep.
entry here. It's kind of a very it's like a step entry, you know, and I know the judges didn't really like that either. I think that was one of the reasons also they went against him. And I was just kind of going to ask you, what's it like when you enter with someone that kind of does a step initiation like that? Does that kind of really hold you up, or what are you kind of looking at on that?
No, not necessarily. Depends on the track for sure.
Yeah.
Like a place like Atlanta definitely might phase you differently than here.
Yeah.
Here, it's not the end of the world because there is kind of two things happening on initiation.
Okay.
When you're tossing it, you're throwing it towards whatever your like focal point is. Mine is like the end of the wall. I set like an imaginary beer bottle on the end of the wall, and I'm trying to kind of brush it off with my butt. But then go farther down initiation to kind of where the rumbles start. That's when the lane opens up for your eyesight. So you initiate, but then by the time you've floated and are supposed to kind of get on throttle, it's not blind anymore.
Okay.
So I feel like a lot of people do not purposefully do like a stepped initiation, but they initiate, and then by the time they can see where their line should be, they do have to make like a kind of second correction just because they didn't guess right the first time.
Gotcha.
So it's definitely I think a common thing for people to do, but that's maybe one of those things that makes people who don't do it just stand up a little bit above that.
Yeah, because obviously he's on your door pretty much the entire time, and you probably leave about 6 inches to a foot off of most of the zones, but
Maybe
again,
foot and a half in one, but yeah.
Yeah, but like you don't make the corrections that he does when he makes, because it is like when he hits outer one, it's like a tap and then he transitions kind of thing.
And the angle through one too. I'm curious to see what would have happened if he didn't tap two. He would have just been, just hauling ass. But he kind of is still in that push angle through one and never kind of adds that flop before transition.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Which whatever maybe could be kind of running away ish. But I mean.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
So, but like, this is the example that I think a lot of people need to kind of see as like how they're judging this year. Because we saw it a bunch. I think Novak was another big battle that I don't think they did a great job of explaining their.
I need to go back and watch
reasoning.
that one. That's the one I've heard most of. I haven't checked it out
we'll
yet.
Watch it and we'll go over it. I did talk a little bit with some of the judges on it just to get an idea of what their idea was. But like like you said, this is one of the battles that I think probably would have went the other way last year. And if they were judging, similarly to how they did last year, because give it props to Austin. Like the dude was on your shit the entire run. So
that's what he does.
Really
that's what he does.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I'm really excited to see what he does this year. Like
for sure, he should be debuting a new car in Atlanta too. So hopefully, switching chassis is a big thing, dude. Even if it's just a refreshed chassis, and it's you're switching from a 14 to a 14, but this new 14 hasn't been into a bunch of walls, and, doesn't do the thriller when you're turning and stuff. Like it can be a big change for sure.
100%. So again. Really, really interesting. I was hoping the judges would. It's up here, because like you said, you did end up winning it 2-1. So there was a judge that was like, you know what, I liked it, but I don't remember which judge is which in
what does it say?
Top was Robbie.
Top was Robbie.
So?
Interesting.
Japan?
Okay.
If you judge this round,
which that
judge this round.
kind of tracks.
He was there.
Yeah, because Robbie, I noticed that. Yeah, that
he might be kind of more a more overall excitement kind of judge for sure.
But I mean, we can also just talk about like the 3 rookies showed up this weekend.
They definitely did
Or the
not
3
suck.
prospect guys that moved up. I meant.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Those guys. I mean, I feel like last year there was a lot of learning curves with like Derek and Rudy and car trouble and all that kind of stuff. It seems like the 3 guys. I mean, obviously TLO blew up a car and then jumps in another car and takes Adam LZ to one more time.
Bro, for real. You know why he chose that car?
Why?
Well, I mean, I guess there's not like a huge field of cars to choose from, but he thought it was. I think he thought it was the one that
Connor was
Shanahan was. Yeah, dude, Connor. So he thought it was an LS car, and then when he figured out that it was the turbo backup car, he goes, "Oh shit!" He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah,
but dude, he did.
Power during seating back too.
Right. I know Casey went up to him right before he started driving it. He was like, "Okay, Tommy, turbo stuff. If this foot's in, this foot does this." Okay, got it.
Dude, like it was pretty cool to watch him put up some serious fights. I mean, that dude's a wheelman. He's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
He's just gonna be a problem this year.
Yeah, I mean, like In what?
In the sprints. Tommy's a problem in the sprints. I think the problem he might run into this year is he wants to go like not physically fast in the car. Obviously he does, but he wants to go fast through the season. I remember working with him and he blew a motor up. I think it was round 1, maybe round 2 when he was on our team, and he is just a very okay. What's this motor make? Okay, could we turn it up a little bit? No, okay, we put nitrous on. Could we turn it up a little bit? He always, this. He always more, which is sick, dude. It puts on a good show and stuff. But long term, at the end of the year, if you're writing your own checks, dude, it's a bold it's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how that plays out.
Right.
But
Yeah.
You're right though, and I mean he was driving like with 500 horsepower in this battle, which is the funny part.
which should show him that, hey, Tommy, put 800, put a reliable 800 horsepower motor in there and send it. Which I don't know what that I call it the TIE Fighter because it sounds like a TIE Fighter when he's driving.
I know. I think it was like over 1,000 torque for sure, and that's what killed it.
For sure, yeah. The torque was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, hopefully he finds. I know he was talking to a couple people about getting a motor for Atlanta.
Right.
Crazy.
He will. He's a resourceful man.
Yeah, I mean, I would have assumed he would have had a spare, but I guess when you're building an entire
that was his
car,
spare, yeah, or that was his original. He had, I think he had a motor. It popped. They put in the spare and rebuilt the original. The spare popped, and then they put in a less gnarly built original, pretty much. So that hurts, dude. That hurts.
Yeah.
We've been there before. We've lost a motor or two before the season.
Yeah.
It's not a confident place to start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's building his engines, but I mean, you can't build these engines like you would any other racing series. So
right.
If they're relatively newer to drifting, like they're probably going to be making mistakes,
right?
For sure. But no, I mean, the other guy, the other rookie is Connor O'Sully, and he's taking out people's bumpers on transition. But dude, he's another guy that I'm curious to see if his aggression, like in this instance, for example, because he had the battle won and just got too aggressive,
Right.
And so I'm curious to see when he's going to start to mature out of that, because I think it's going to help him a lot, because he's a guy that likes to drive with a lot of emotion, and I've definitely seen him bite him before. But again, another wheelman in a familiar car for him, though, and I think he's going to be interesting to see where he goes, because he is going the lower horsepower route, at least for now.
Yeah.
I know they're building something rowdy, but I don't know when that's actually going to get done.
I think he's also getting a new chassis for Atlanta, new E46.
If it's done,
bigger V8, more nitrous.
I've heard doubtful things on whether or not it's going to be done.
Right.
So,
dude, we were at 700 horsepower all weekend.
You were?
Yeah, I was on setting 4 out of 8, and I think was that like 19 pounds of boost or something like that. Not a ton, but yeah, 700 horse.
Not bad.
Perfect. That thing stayed so happy, and Casey built a cool little new cooling package for us, and I think our highest temp of the entire weekend was like 202 for water temp.
That's pretty good.
It was tight. It was tight.
That's cool. And so with your car, I guess there's a little bit. I know the judges were talking about your small tire thing. You aren't running a super small tire anymore. Am I correct?
Second to smallest. I was on a 265, which measures out to 254, I think.
But that's
I could be wrong.
correct?
Measures out. Yeah. It's the Kenda, and the new Kendas are saucy, dude. They get grippier and grippier as they go down. They get foamy, like kind of styrofoamy, like the old Achilles used to. And like even for the RTR battle, we were on scrubs for that. We would do 2 practice laps, take the tires off, the whole wheels, get them ready for comp, go back out on freshies, do 2, go back out on freshies for the second day.
Wow.
Really cool.
But yeah, dude. So
and can confirm one of the issues Simon Olsen ran into in his battle against, I think it was Hobson. The car gripped up when the tires heated up for the second battle, and he wasn't expecting it, because normally when you overheat tires, I guess I kicked everyone out, but normally when you overheat tires, you lose grip, and it sounds like these Kendas are the exact opposite. right, let me bring these guys back in.
Get you back in.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you guys heard, but that's what Olsen told me happened in his battle with the second run. He wasn't expecting the increasing grip because the tires were hotter, and that's kind of screwed him on his battle. But it's a really interesting built tire from what it sounds like. From what it sounds like, there's no steel rings in it or something.
That could be.
Or something like that. Like there's something that he was telling me about that's like it's a really like a totally new design for this year. And as you can see, Osbo is on top of the box, and I talked to Tuerck. He loves the tire. Like Kenda came out swinging this year.
For real.
Yep.
Yeah, he definitely got some tire drama, that's for sure. This year you got Forsberg calling out GT Radio.
Right. I don't know what happened with that whole thing. I don't know where that came from.
What are you allowed to say, Herbie?
I don't know anything.
Spill it. Spill the beans.
Things happen.
Long story short, Forsberg's not with GT Radio anymore. Let's just say tempers were flared, and now he's on Kumo.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing good. Dude, ripped. That's
Kumo.
Like if you want to talk about that Manoa and Forsberg battle, like I thought that he ripped. I just I did laugh really hard when the crowd all booed. Like I was like, holy shit. Like what the hell?
Damn.
But
let's quick before we get to the Manoa Forsberg battle. Let's quick get to the finals here. I think it was between you and Hobson.
Hell yeah!
It was It's another example of how they're changing judging this year. I think.
Right.
Because you had the cleaner lead, compared to him, even though he had proximity on you. I think, if I remember correctly. So we'll quick check this one out as well. Shout out to Hobson, by the way. Another guy.
I think it just comes. Yeah, dude.
Completely changed for this year.
Yeah, he
1000%.
I'm bullish on Hobson. It's crazy.
Yeah, for real. It's a bull market, baby. Hell yeah. Dude, me and him did so many sim laps coming into this event too. We were jamming. We were doing some deep, heavy, long sessions. And,
dude, look at that flick.
Dude, that's the same right? It's the same initiation he was doing on the sim. I knew it was coming. I like that. I like that kind of mid-track heavy flick initiation. They said on the live stream a couple times that I impeded him and I hit him on initiation. There was definitely plenty of room. I posted my in-car. You guys can go watch my in-car. So I don't like that. Also, I hope the judges didn't also think that. I know the announcers are definitely separate.
Guys too, that nothing's gonna happen.
For real, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But no, I think this one just all comes down to him missing 3. I think he was just sauced up, go juice, and I don't know if maybe I could zoom in here and watch, but I don't know if he snaps too quick to angle in 2, or
he does hit, but again, I don't know if he got out of it or what. But he missed 3 pretty good. And again, and you're there. Like it's not like you're pushing his door in the whole run, but you're definitely there, and keeping it clean,
giving him the space that he needs.
Definitely not the best lead to chase. So
I was definitely.
Was he pulling away? Yeah,
initiation. I think
he was
everything.
Cutting that line.
I don't. No, not through 3. I don't think through. I settled. I just kind of. Well, you just going into 3 in the chase. You can't see anything relative to the wall. You just watch the lead driver's rotation in 2, and as long as you match the rotation in 2, then that's what picks your line. And then kind of as you approach 3 and the fence kind of starts to get more in your peripheral, then that's when you reevaluate and you're like, oh, we're going in, or oh, we're way off, or oh, we're fucking money, like whatever it may be. But you just kind of gauge how hard you toss it through 2 just on how quickly if they walk it from 1 to 2, or if they snap from 1 to 2. If it's a quick rotation, they're going to be a little bit off. If they walk it, you're like, all right, we're going to the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. And so as you can see, he gives you a pretty good gap, but again, you're about 6 inches to a foot off of each zone.
And I think,
and then that one you got all of, which is obviously the big exclamation point because he missed it completely. He's right there,
Right.
Although
that was nice, actually. I thanked him for that across the line too, because I thought I was gonna spin going back and watching that. I think it was just gonna be I was just kind of parking it.
Yeah.
And he totally, dude. He got up in there and just kind of nudged me across the finish line. So as soon as we shut down and go straight and the smoke settles, I like go over and look, thank you, my bad. But yeah, dude, I think missing 3 and then maybe in the chase his kind of shallow stepped transition into 2.
Yeah,
right there. He kind of does that bobble, pulls out angle. So I mean, yeah, you can be on people's doors for sure. And you know, the judges always talk about making sacrifices and stuff. And he made the sacrifice of pulling a little bit of angle out to get that good show proximity. And I guess this year that's just not quite what the judges are looking for.
Right. And the other curious thing is like, so what's it like going into that last inner clip? Because it seems like a really sketchy scenario. Because you got the wall on the outside.
I'd say the touch and go. The touch and go, yeah, dude. The touch and go going into the inner clip is what's sketchy, and I feel like that's almost what determines, for me at least, that's what determines how close I am to the clip. Is not ripping off the rear end in the touch and go. So you want to take that nice wide arc past 3. You don't want to be too wide because there's just a ton of tire rubble right there. So even if you're within where the tire marks end, most people are still a couple feet within there. So if you're on that outer edge, it's just tire rubble. And then coming back in, I've hit that wall on the touch and go multiple times. I was like, I'm not doing that. So I was just so concentrated on the touch and go that I feel like most of my laps I actually was either 1 to 3 feet deep off of the inner clip.
Yeah.
Which is a minor mistake, but at least it's a mistake that doesn't cut off the chase driver. Right. So I'd rather be a foot off of it than 6 inches into it. You know, just for the sake of not choking up. Yeah. All you do is leave the door wide open, which doesn't make the battle look bad. If anything, it's just tossing them a softball and going, all right, buddy, get the fuck in here. You know, come on in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't swear as much on this podcast. My bad.
Is this
okay? Sick.
I would be doomed.
All right, guys, start listing in the chat what battles you guys want to see. It's great to see all of you guys here, by the way. Over 60 of you guys.
A couple of things for Stuke before we go into
it.
Right.
What do you got?
Well, first it was Chuck. He asked what tires that you ran. Kenda.
Kenda's. Hell yeah.
We got somebody.
It's 265 though, so it's not the big. Cause what's their big tire? Is it
305?
Yeah, they got some big meaty
boys. I think
boys
so.
there.
Yeah. They got some Johnnies, dude. 305 coming live. Larry Hoovers.
Yeah, that's right. Brandon V said, "Yo, tell Stuke he was wheeling it last weekend."
Thank you, brother.
8 laps to kind of sound like the superior tire in FD. That was from Chuck.
I mean, to be fair, I think everyone was getting laps on their tires.
True.
That's fair. Yeah. Long Beach doesn't eat through tires, but I'd say more. I remember like maybe 4 or 5 on the V tours probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Phil was also stoked on your battle with Hobson.
Sick.
I've been wanting to ask Stuke this question. Is it harder to get a lighter car out to the edges of a track? That's by Biggs D. And then he said, mentally, I feel like a heavier car will float out farther, but a lighter car, you have to drive it to the edge.
100%, dude. Yeah, 100%. We pulled a lot of grip, like a lot of chassis grip out of the car and just compensated with tire pressure. We were only running a 1/4 inch toe in. I think during top 32, I think we upped it to 3/8, which is tiny increase, but even just that little bit of increase was you could tell in the top 32 days I was nowhere near the wall, and I was like, damn, it just that little bit of extra. And we're 1 click down on our like active toe in, so that was all pretty neutral. I would say the biggest places that you realize it is at bank tracks. It was relearning banks last year. Really? There's no weight to throw up there, and it's really hard to keep that pendulum or keep any momentum through a track. You have to utilize that push angle more and properly time your flops versus just even tossing it up at angle and sitting on left foot doesn't quite work as much. The car just kind of binds weird.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, there's that. Corey Work said you killed it.
Thank you. You killed it on the minutes, dude. I like it.
We got Vibes who asks, who do you guys think was the most surprising this weekend, and who impressed you the most?
That's a tough one.
Oh, that's a good question for
I
sure.
want to wait. I want to wait till the end to
Madison
get to that
me.
because that was the question I had for the end. So there's a
For what
couple,
was
like-
it?
What?
Oh, you
What did you say?
I want to wait for that to the end.
Okay, all right.
That was a question I was going to ask because I was going to
Tight.
ask who were you most impressed with and who were you most disappointed with. I got an answer for both. So
Yeah, I know your answer for most disappointed. I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah. If you got any more, Herbie. Sorry.
Stephen Kwan said I helped Stuke practice chasing bad lead on the sim.
Let's go. I recognize that name. Let's go, baby. Yeah, dude, I hop in public lobbies, and people are always like, "Oh, sick, it's Dan." And then when Ben was on, they're like, "That can't be the real Ben, though. That wouldn't be the real Ben." Someone was like, "He's got RTR money. He'd have his own server." We're like, "Bro, we're chilling in here.
Yeah,
you could hit me. You hit it.
Servers cost
I'll
$1
see
million
Brandon's-
or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, bro, what is it? You have to like PayPal a Russian dude $5 to like be able to run your own server. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but that's what I had to do, and it felt weird.
Not for me. I
felt
use
weird.
a server hosting website.
Oh, okay, you can do that. You can,
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Brandon Sorenson on there too, and every once in a while I'm like, that can't be him.
Right.
And like, because Castro is like a dickhead on there too. I'm like,
right. There's like 10 J Deans on there too. There's a bunch of
those ones I
bunch
never
of fake
expect
Jameses.
that one to be real.
Right. Maybe, dude. You never know.
I might run
Just
into
pops
the right
in.
one. Yeah, right.
Right.
Oh shit. All right, sorry. All right, that's all for now, I think.
All right, cool. One guy I want to give a shout out to. Oh, we got some audio. Is Ryan Little? Hell of a battle.
Yeah, there we go.
James Dean.
That
Honestly, it was just, I think it was one little mistake, and that's what ended his day. Obviously, he doesn't get too crazy of a shout out because he wasn't in seeding bracket, was he? Or was he? I don't think he was.
Yes.
He should have been. Yeah, he should have been.
Lost against Ben, I think.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was
Yeah.
another sick battle. So, yeah, just a little too close on that transition there.
Yep. Touch and go to the.
All right. So
did you guys know that this was Federico's first round in FD ever having a quick change?
Yes.
What?
I learned that this weekend, and I thought that was wild. I was like, that. I'll give you credit on a couple places. That makes a lot of sense why that thing doesn't work. Because he was like, yeah, there's only like 3 tracks that naturally work with what gear ratio I have. And I was like, damn, that's an uphill battle you got there. You're not doing not that the Ferrari isn't already, but I was like, you're not doing yourselves any favors. So that's cool.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe see him dial it in a little bit more.
Yeah.
He was saying last year at Long Beach, his wheel speed was 150 miles an hour, which is a bit.
Downshift. What do you downshift? Isn't it a 6-speed in there?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
First is probably 90. In a Ferrari,
Yeah, you'd think so, right? Maybe the splits are just all crazy. Like I would think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. One of the kind of interesting ones, Rome, I think cracked an intake. That's why he lost.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
So we'll get into this later, but he's one of the guys that's in seeding bracket next event.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple heaters in there, dude.
Dude, that seeding bracket's gonna be fire.
Rad Dan's gonna win the seeding bracket in Atlanta. Calling it right now. He's grabbing his 12 points, dipping down. He does really good in Atlanta. I think that'll be a good spot for him.
You're right.
He does. He's got the new Wise Fab on the car too, and so maybe it was his kind of. I know he got a couple test days, but it probably takes a good handful of laps to readjust to a whole new suspension setup.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. What was the other 32 battles that people were
Novak
interested?
and Gucci-san.
Yeah, Novak.
Let me pull up. I can't.
The Forsberg one too.
Yeah, well, who did Forsberg go against?
Daniel. Radical Daniel.
Oh, it was Radical Daniel. That's right.
Rad Dan.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yep. Yeah.
We have Replex in the chat, so let's talk.
Well, you play the initiation for me. I haven't seen this one yet. But I made some comments.
I mean, he's wobbling. So who are we talking about, and what was the issue?
No, nothing. It didn't look as bad as I thought. Just timing on when we're all getting on throttles with certain people. I don't know. It doesn't look like it was an issue.
He didn't get on throttle to like maybe heavy throttle
But
to like
he wasn't on his door
through
either.
one.
Yeah, and that's probably what the game plan was. I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
He was
maybe.
on throttle, just
But there was no smoke or anything.
no smoke.
How does his smoke compare to the other Kumo drivers? I
He's
didn't pay
battling.
attention to that actually.
That's true. Makes a good
Who
point.
else is on him? Is it Jeff?
Jeff's on him,
Haley.
Haley's on him, and Tommy's on him.
Haley, I think, had a little bit of throttle commitment issues, so
Yeah.
he wasn't making too much smoke. But
Yeah.
I feel like Jeff Jones was definitely smoking.
I mean,
it
he
up.
does
I
pull
think-
e-brake mid-entry there, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Dan was close enough for it to really affect him.
I think
Right.
16 onwards, he definitely fixed his throttle commitment issues.
He was getting on earlier.
Yeah, a lot more
His-
smoke too.
His other runs were definitely ripping. Like he
Yeah.
definitely on the Kumas figured it out. I mean, he.
Will you play Dan's lead for me?
Yeah, I think it's next.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, these are
Oh wait.
a bunch of the
These are just
replays that they're
replays.
playing.
But yeah, obviously the big correction is hitting the wall there. Crazy watching that wing just fly over Dan's car. Like that.
Yeah.
And just,
Yeet.
I feel like he did that. exact-
Smart man though, dude. He's a long-term thinker right there. He put all old quarter panels and hatches and wings and stuff. He's like, I've got my fresh kit and it's going on in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Car
Oh,
still
they-
looks good.
Did they call it
Right.
5? Is
Yeah.
that what it was? All right, back.
Mhm.
back
Oh, they called
here.
5 too. Interesting.
One of the
Mhm.
things FD needs to figure out is doing these
Lorette
interviews
was
during
back.
the runs,
Lorette was
'cause,
back.
like, seriously,
Yes,
guys,
yeah.
we need to not do interviews during runs, please. Because
Yeah, dude. There's
Like,
one
just
That
let
happened to
the
me a
run
couple
for 30
times last
seconds.
year. Yeah, and then even afterwards, like for the drivers like me who get knocked out earlier, we don't have a ton of content. So then when we're pulling stuff from the stream and it's like someone talking over our entire run,
yeah,
like okay, sick. I can't use any of not that Jared gets
Yeah.
excited over me when I'm doing runs anyways, but I can't use any of the announcer stuff.
right. And so obviously that's a pretty big hit with Dan.
It didn't really like make him like.
Yeah, it wasn't a big bobble from the hit. It was just a hit.
Yeah,
Didn't really affect the car.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't
Um,
see anything other than that was super egregious.
Yeah.
Be curious.
Proximity wise, Forsberg was better from like
Yeah.
2 onwards.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean straight out the gate. I mean even if Forsberg didn't get on the throttle for a while on the entry, like Rad Dan was like there floating in with him and then just something
Right.
it didn't jive when he actually started to go and I don't know.
At least
It is.
Forsberg's.
Oh, it
making
looks
this
all right,
happen.
dude. Yeah, it looks all right. Yeah.
I just Rad Dan definitely he was doing great out there. I think
Right.
Forsberg also
Maybe just needed a little more aggression.
that was like old
I mean, I'm
school
surprised
Forsberg
because
this
Dan was not
weekend.
Yeah.
looking good in practice.
Really?
No, he was.
I
trying
thought
to
he had
fig-
some pretty good runs.
Did he by the end? Because the first day he looked like he was trying to still figure out that car.
Mm.
I
He
know
was
they had a
moving.
big change and everything, but
I know you had a couple good chases in practice. I think that's all I saw, though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Forsberg definitely was. He was driving great this weekend.
Yeah.
I
Welcome
didn't
back
I didn't
to the
watch as many
64
people as I usually do.
yeah.
And I usually I'll skip a whole practice session because I don't have enough tires, and I'll just go sit in the stands and watch. I'm like, this is valuable.
Right.
It is. It is. But now that I had the tires to drive, I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah. So Robbie then voted for the one more time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that makes sense.
I just
I
want to
would have
see
thought
the
it would
side
go
by side one
0-2.
more time.
Yeah.
Because I want to look at the lead runs because that's kind of what they've been really dogging on was lead runs. Oh, it looked like Dan also touched the rubble strips on entry. Which was
Yeah, that was a big no this round.
Yeah.
Which may have been another little thing towards Austin. He wasn't up on the rumble strips, but he was tucked up to there too.
Yeah.
But no, that was definitely kind of a big no this round.
Yeah, that's the other thing, and we'll get to the no back battle, and that was the reason why that one was also like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Right. Because then, dude, yeah, it just sucks. There's a couple tracks that you can do it at too, but it does just suck when just such a little mistake so early in the run
Yep.
can just completely, screw all the proximity for the chase driver, and then the whole online doesn't pay attention to the initiation. Like? Then they're like, look.
Yeah, well, what's it like following someone that cuts the rumble strips like that? Is it make it almost impossible to like?
It almost in practice you almost just kind of scrap the run.
Really?
You try to set. Well, if you look back at Mike Powers last year,
yeah.
What happens when you're trying to left foot hard over slippery paint? I don't know if that was 100% the issue with him, but I know it definitely came into play with it. Especially when you're on left foot pre-rumbles and then you go up onto the rumbles, it just breaks the traction right there, takes the front end out, and there's no time to save it, and it'll send you right into the wall.
Okay. Huh.
Good info.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, and shout out to TLO for one more time in LZ.
Yeah, that's tight. Yeah. Bro, LZ was so fast. Without doing like runaway angle. That car is just insane.
He found a way to control it, because I was a little worried when I watched him at Media Day. He did not look good.
Right.
He looked like he was racing to each corner instead of like drifting almost.
Right.
So he found a way to like get that car figured out though. Because like you said, this thing is a rocket.
Absolutely. Yeah, a rocket at full angle still somehow.
Yeah.
Well, it's an E36.
Oh,
you obviously missed.
No, that's pretty. There. Yeah, pretty off 3.
Yeah, that's where the one more time really.
Yeah.
And off the inner.
Fair.
Both of these battles from LZ weren't LZ driving, in my opinion.
Right.
Sloppy.
He got a lot better as the event went on.
Yeah, 100%.
He made some pretty simple mistakes in these battles. Not simple, but like, you know what I mean. Like, pretty obvious mistakes.
Minute. Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon said Chelsea even said LZ needed to slow it down in his YouTube video during Media Day.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Long Beach is a track that if you're driving a car that's borderline uncontrollable, like that's not the place to be.
It'll bite you, for sure. For sure.
I mean, you obviously saw him. He took the whole back end of his car off at Media Day.
Right. Yeah. And it still looked good, though. It still looked good coming into comp.
Yeah, I mean,
pulled up next
blew off that wing. I don't know how many times this weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
That was insane.
My favorite run. I don't remember which one it was, but he takes just the wing off.
Yeah,
it's
so so much. Like it was like if he like it came to the point where they must have just been using like just whatever tape they could find to just slap that baby back on. And like if like a pin touched it, it was like the Lego brick noise and just popping.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's just eject.
Ejecto wingo, cut.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it was pretty good. He's definitely he's ripping. He is a good driver. He's come a long way.
Yeah. All right. The other one was the Novak 32 battle, which I mean, you got guys like Jeff Jones, Novak, all going to be in seeding bracket now.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Daigo.
Is Jeff Jones in seeding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost his top 32 battle.
Does that automatically?
Yeah, you get 0 points for the round. And there's 23 people I think with points. So and it's the top 20.
Because I thought I had him in 32 now.
I don't think so.
All right. All right.
Back to the drawing board shit.
Right? No, I don't know. Emily's our number cruncher. I think that's what she said.
Who knows?
I thought it was the top 20 qualified, not 24 for the...
Well, Vaughn's coming this round, so they got to move some things.
Yeah, let's just put him into one of the buy runs. This was a sick battle.
Who was this? Hurst?
Castro, Hurst.
Oh, I haven't seen this one. Dude, I know Hurst was on one, though.
Were ripping.
Bro, Hurst is a freaking ripper. That's why I don't know if you saw on my roof. I wrote "Be more effing aggressive," because last year I lost to him. I was just assuming fresh car, fresh track. He wasn't going to be balls to the walls, fully on, and he was just 100% committed, 100% where he needed to be. And I lost just based off of just not going hard enough, dude.
Yeah.
Castro. Which I did quite a bit this last weekend too, dude. I felt like I was very timid, and I may have been surprised with some of the calls in my favor too.
Right. Well, Castro is on his door the entire time, so
Right.
he does that every once in a while. He'll just
Yeah, he's like on and off, honestly.
Castro's car looks so good this year too.
It
does.
really
Yeah,
does.
it really
Looks
does.
sick. It might be like aesthetically one of my favorite
Yeah,
cars.
but he
I put it in
went
my top
straight
3
through
for
the
sure.
rumble
That was
strips.
way over the rumbles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure that's why he lost.
Okay.
Because Castro I think misses outer 3. Hurst missed outer 1, but yeah, I mean, like you said,
And a
it's
little
just,
early to the inner as well.
Yeah, but Hurst is another driver that's going to be in seating bracket.
Yeah.
That like seating bracket next round is going to be wild.
And it's not a bad thing anymore.
No.
Yeah. No.
It's who gets a bonus win.
Exactly.
Little extra points keeps
For real, dude. Obviously it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially for just having only 8 rounds. It's not like a NASCAR season or anything else. Like
Right.
Supercross rounds where you're in the 450 class and you have, I forget how many damn races in a season, but
Right.
yeah.
you
See,
know.
that was like a big correction from Castro, which is what I was wondering.
And didn't quite get all the way out to 3 too.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was gonna one more time it, but yeah, I think the fact that he cut in so early on his entry, I think really makes it that much more impressive that Castro
Right.
stayed with him, because that could have been really dangerous.
Yeah, for real, for real.
All right, let's get to the battle we were waiting for, the no back one, right?
No bad Gucci.
Where are we at? Oh, it's like the last battle, isn't it? Or no, that's the Tuerck. Jack Shanahan one more times.
Yep.
It's in here somewhere. I know it is.
Jack was doing great.
Dude, another guy that's going to be in the seating bracket
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he didn't get
He's
a
got a
win.
learning curve, new car, new motor
Well, no, but he was
platform.
ripping. Like, he's a guy that I'm like, he probably could have done a lot more damage.
Like,
Right.
I don't know if you guys saw, what was it, Formula Derp's post, but like the judges giving Tuerck 2 opportunities to
Yeah.
clean up his run or whatever like that.
But yeah, so Novak's chase is so sick. Like, he's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Gucci puts down.
That was a pretty perfect lead, dude. That was a pretty perfect
Yeah.
lead, too.
Yeah. So the fun part comes up for the next part of the battle is that I believe, if I'm correct. Yeah, no, they turned around,
Yeah.
so they'll come back. But yes, Gucci's way away from those rumble strips,
Right.
so keep that in mind.
Smooth, lock to lock, no corrections, 2 to 3. Excels out of 3 into the touch and go too. That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
Is it-
you got a big versus feel of it right there.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
I feel
That's
like
tough to.
is
It's
it-
kind of tough to recover from and then still be that tight on the inner.
Yeah.
What's it like chasing Gucci? Because I feel like his car is just a hair slower than.
I think that was a Nexon issue.
Really?
I don't know. I think because I know he used to get hit a bunch, and I hit him like twice my rookie year on initiation, just waiting for his car to settle. And I think it might have been a Nexon small sidewall issue, where if he tosses it and then got back on throttle right away, there just wasn't naturally enough side bite in the tire to actually do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of his speed issues will probably not come into play this year.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because he's on Kendo as well, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and he's always it is always
Just
just
watch this entry.
smooth,
from
dude, smooth.
Novak. Yeah, it was straight over rumble strips, and we'll see it on the overhead. But like lead's pretty solid. Again, same.
3 is nasty. 3 is
nasty
nasty.
And,
He said he was practicing that on the sim for so long.
Yeah, it was.
And Gucci kind of missed the touch and go in the chase. I didn't look at where Novak was in the touch and go.
He really wasn't.
But dude, yeah, just the rumbles, bro. I think the rumbles were the killer of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he hardly he wasn't too deep on him.
Yeah, watch it right here.
And Gucci.
Yeah,
he's
he
not-
just gets a lip. The one time.
Right, but for as Gucci to be as
Yeah,
close as
obviously,
he
yeah,
was, it puts Gucci in that tight spot. I could see, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just crazy, like where Novak's proximity and his chase was way better.
Yeah.
Right.
like everything else was like pretty much par with Gushi's other than that on the lead run, where it's like that's a heavy weight if that's like how they're going to actually judge, which is like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just crazy how that little bit of an error.
Right.
And I don't know what they say in the drivers meeting, but like maybe really
They
reiterate,
yeah, they
like
definitely mentioned it. I don't remember them being like super heavy on it, but I feel like that's just
yeah,
kind of a common courtesy is to not let your chase driver run over
right,
rumbles like
yeah,
that.
you don't want
Yeah,
to
not that anyone's trying to do that, obviously,
right,
like I
yeah,
said, it's that you toss it, you guess, and then you get back on throttle and kind of correct your line.
yep,
But
Okay, gotcha. So I mean, and that was one of the ones that people were confused on. But the problem is FD after this run never went on until like 3 battles later, and
to discuss it.
Jake, yeah, and Jake quickly mentioned something about the rumble strips or something that he
Mm,
hit those or something in like his battle or whatever. But yeah,
yeah.
so
For
right.
it
like
to be a unanimous
they,
thing and not even a one more time is kind of crazy.
well, like they need to go on
Yeah,
and
Robbie didn't
explain.
even go. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
didn't explain it, and that was I think the biggest problem. And I don't know. I didn't really hear them a whole bunch mentioning about the rumble strips um during the live stream, the parts that I was able to watch. So I think it was a part of it just needs to be an education thing, and they need to have the judges on there a lot more than they did, because
Right.
like I think less than half the call. I mean, I think it was less than a quarter of the calls that we heard from the judges on.
Hmm.
So I think, especially ones like that where it seems pretty close from a naked eye, and you got to remember the people like in the stands, for example, they can't see the rumble strips,
yeah,
you know,
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Right. Right.
and like the
Yeah, they can't see
spotters
run
can't
up.
really
They can't see
see it,
initiation.
and so like I know from Novak's camp they were pretty upset about it, but
Yeah.
it's like there was also no explanation given to them, which is the hard part,
yep.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's no like media yet for them to see
Right.
like that section of the course, so all you're left with is just like what you see on the broadcast, and it's like, what the
Right,
fuck?
and the
I got the
announcers
solution,
never
dude. I figured out the
mentioned anything
solution.
about it.
What's the solution?
Larry Chen Supra. Instead of a camera rig, it's 3 bride seats. And then Larry Chen chases us around the track with the judges sitting up in front of the car. Perfect, dude. Perfect. Put some safety goggles, like the
Yeah,
dog goggles when
yeah,
they're in the motorcycles, like those things.
yeah.
Oh
Boom.
man,
I
that's
like it.
funny.
You see it all, baby.
It's like a Mad
Yeah.
Max kind of thing going on.
Yeah. Or 2
Yeah,
judges and they ride it in the passenger seat.
Okay.
gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go. Empty did say they did mention it at the beginning when they were explaining the track, so that's good.
Do they have like
Okay.
a
Yeah.
line guide or like a track map that they explain in the beginning of the streams? Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
for
do.
sure. Oh, in the
They do?
streams, I don't know. In the drivers' meetings, yeah.
They
I,
do.
I
Yeah, I
would
know
assume
drivers
they
meetings,
put
but
most of the driver aids up that they give us. They put most of those on the live stream as well.
Mhm.
But for people who tune in late, I don't know how often they go back and readdress them. Maybe they only readdress them when there is an issue or when there is a judging call that kind of pertains to that section of the track. But yeah, maybe little refreshers throughout the event would be cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
COC Fire said your bumper grazing a rumble strip should be the same penalty as 2-wheeling it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
he means like dropping 2 over. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
'cause ultimately, then chase car will have to put
Right.
tire at some
Right.
point.
For sure.
yeah. Again, shout out to Jack for making this a real battle. Like,
For real.
Yeah, time and time again.
yeah.
He
yeah.
just kept showing up. I mean, Tuerck too. He was ripping, but I definitely think that it was going to Jack the first go around. And
You definitely
Yeah,
had the
that was pretty
proximity,
crazy.
but there was a lot of darting. If you
Mhm.
watch him like in the chase, for example. I want to watch Jack's lead again, see what we got from him, because Tuerck, I don't remember, made any serious mistakes in his lead.
He
No,
usually
I-
doesn't.
Yeah,
He usually doesn't.
he
Yeah.
rips at this track too.
Yeah.
And didn't he
I
put
mean, I
down
feel like
like
he
one of
usually
the
rips
highest
the back end
qualifying?
off the car at this track, but
Yeah,
That was just last year.
Yeah, that was every track for that guy last year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He was just getting beat up just like Rome was.
Yeah.
Those guys are just out there, just in a boxing ring with no gloves and no protection.
Like last year was wild for Rome.
Everybody else is just beating him up. But like that,
Okay.
He
like,
gives him room. Okay, so that's pretty solid. That's a
Tuerck
really
kind of
good
had to sacrifice
22.
all of 2 for the peroxide. Yeah.
A
yeah.
little bit of
Yeah. Dude.
This is like he hit the wall, and that's where they actually gave it to. I think the one more time here, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, it didn't like at that point. Tuerck was already so far behind.
Right.
I'm like, I don't really understand how this makes
Yeah, but
sense to me.
Tuerck didn't hit the wall in his lead though, right? Well, let's get. They'll do a side by side here. Or they should, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's gone. Nowhere near the rumbles. Little waiver, but fills 1. Good transition. Planted. No adjustment to 3.
Oh, oops.
Maybe a little bobble coming out of 3.
I think he pulled a little angle out when he hit the wall in 3, and it made him drive away from Tuerck a little bit.
Just like a tad, but like he was
Yeah.
already. It didn't like adjust the proximity that much, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah, bro. I'm on this little screen from this far away. I can barely tap. I didn't even know that he tapped it.
Yeah.
Give me the. It should give you the double. Where's the BC or whatever it is? Double.
Side by side.
So there we go.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so Tuerck
Tuerck's
a little deeper in 1.
Worse than Chase by far.
I think he had the better lead. He didn't bobble in 3. I think Tuerck had the better lead. So I get it.
And if we're staying consistent, dude, we're staying consistent. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I could.
I think
And that went one more, right? That went one more.
Yep.
Yeah,
And if
2
Jack,
more.
Yeah.
yeah, because if Jack didn't tap 3, I think he would have won it.
Right.
They got 2 one more times, and it
Yeah.
went to Tuerck on the 3rd.
So we can.
That's
go
see,
to
that's
some-
interesting. If anything, I'd say 2 one more times and towards Jack on that one, maybe.
All right, here's the second one more time, I believe. I'm gonna quick throw up the double screen.
Yeah, this was the last battle of the.
Yeah, I know. Of course, it's the last battle, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Tuerck gives him
forgot about
way too much space on entry.
Every
Right.
time
And
I
there's
was
a lot
like
of yo-yoing going on here.
starting to pack the camera up. I was like, damn it. Yeah.
I don't know. It was messy from both of them. I feel like. On the
Yeah,
entries.
I wasn't upset with the one more time call, honestly. And
Yeah.
I like seeing good driving. I mean, even when I'm an idiot and I don't wear sunscreen and I'm burning. Like, I'm like, it is what it is.
Bro, I feel you on that.
Like I have my lights on now, but like the sunburn is like pretty much all gone now. I just look nice and tan.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just peel, dude. I peel back the pasty every time. It sucks.
Yeah, my head. Whoo,
Oh, I bet.
rough.
Alrighty. So this is the one that was a great. Yeah, he gets out 1, 2. Little off on 3, but pretty good.
Yeah, on the third one, Tuerck really just came back and was like, all right, here's how we do it. Now we're getting the bearings. Yeah. How do we feel about Jack Shanahan's design on his car?
Dude, I really like it from some angles, and then I don't like the straight-on angle. I think it looks cool from the side and the back. I can't remember what it was we were looking at, but it's just something about the shape of the roundness of the.
Yeah.
There's a lot of round stuff going on the front end, to where I feel like you have to break the friendly roundness up with some aggressive lines, but it kind of just adds more friendly roundness to it.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a G35 from the front or something, with the way he's got the black vinyl on there.
Yeah.
The way how it goes around the headlights and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't look bad. Just, it could be meaner looking for sure.
Yep.
100%.
I like no big title sponsor on the side. I think that's pretty tight.
It is pretty cool. The car, like at first, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, honestly.
I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, right.
To get partners here. So
That's true. I did hear that.
kind of feel bad for him on that front. good ass driver, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard out here.
You got
All right. So we're gonna hit into the top 16. I guess before we get to top 16, though, what do you think of this thing, Stuke?
The new track?
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the animation makes the line look impossible, bro. I'm like, you could.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. The location's dope. I'm cool. It's gonna be back there. I think the vibe is tight. I love the palm trees. I love the beachfront. Like, obviously the fans are super cool there. Obviously that line is not doable. I'm surprised they didn't ask Valters to make an Assetto track. They could have made like such a real detailed Assetto version.
Right.
And then had like a 4K, you would have been not able to tell it was a video game if you did it through a setup.
Or even like Tuerck Drift, since I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Are they still? I didn't see any commercials.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I don't know either. I did see that. I think the dude walking around, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they're not
Doesn't
an
mean
affiliate
anything.
anymore. Yeah, but yeah, if I don't see you doing what that car on this animation did over the finish
Especially-
line, dude.
You gonna be pissed?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
look
know
at
if
this
I
guy.
can consider you a real driver.
Oh, look at that freaking
Oh, look at
goofball! It was so nice to see Lorette, though. I'm so happy when she gets back.
Yeah, she's
That's
great.
cool.
She does a
She is.
solid job. She definitely rips at
Right.
doing what she does.
Bro, before we move into top 16, I got to tell a story about top 32. That's pretty sick, pretty
All right.
wild. All right, El Jefe, dude. You see our little car swap after?
Yeah.
So yeah, I told him the night before that, or maybe it was earlier in the morning, whatever. I told him, I was like, hey, let's just drive away in each other's cars, like we're racing for pinks or something.
Yeah.
And so whatever, we hop in each other's car. He burnt the shit out of my clutch trying to pull away, and pulling back into my pit, it was smoking, and I was like, oh no. But so I hop in his car, right, and I leave the line, but then I get stopped by Kevin, and they're in there trying to take out the torque box because he's not going on any further. And when they open the door, what I thought was a hood prop falls out, and it falls out through the door bars in the roll cage. And he's like yanking on it, trying to get it out, and he finally pulls it out. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He goes, a fucking katana, dude. He's like, Jeff Jones has a legit sword, like a katana, just laying around, loosey-goosey, flying around his race car while he's driving.
He's
But
trying to take out the competition, man.
I was literally like, what are you yanking on, dude?
Holy
He's
shit.
like, a fucking katana, dude.
That's
Like,
the
that's
best Jeff
crazy.
Jones story I've ever heard.
For real. He got rid of the Ninja Turtle, and he just became the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
For real. He's
upgraded and
embracing it.
adapted.
Yeah. His shell's on his front, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Phil, they switched when they made the decision of who won. You guys just switched cars and drove them.
We
back
just
to the
dapped
pits.
up and then walked to each other's cars without saying anything.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It was pretty damn funny.
It was good.
We need
Oh man.
more of that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Connor Shanahan doing his thing, what he usually does, and driving really well, beats Dylan. I don't think
Yeah.
Dylan was driving the greatest that I've seen him drive this weekend. I don't know what it was.
Hmm.
He just seemed to be just a little off
Yeah.
some of the time. Seemed to be he was on limiter a lot though. I mean, he usually is.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, right.
But, I mean, you can see he's like loose and angle in the chase and going back and forth.
Yeah. I'm still listen. Still number one in my heart.
That's your boy there?
Yeah.
Herbie's a D. Hughes fan, dude, aren't we all?
Well, yeah, yeah, he's just such a silly guy.
He is a really good guy.
But yeah, this pained me. I was sad to see them have to go up against each other here.
Mm.
Yeah, like it also stinks because like I want a lot of these drivers to do really well. Like there's so many dudes that I'm like, damn. And then it's like then I look at it the other way and I'm like, well, I would have still been upset the other way. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, like I love watching Shanahan drive. It's just,
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
but yeah, this is
This
the
is
big
the battle
one here.
everyone got upset
Yeah.
about.
The big one that the crowd really just did not. I don't know what the chat was like.
I'm sure
But-
not happy, as the usually
Chat.
are.
Yeah, I didn't read the chat, to be
You weren't
honest.
you weren't
I
staying
wasn't
up to date on
there.
the chat?
I was just watching, dude. I was tired that day.
Oh, okay.
I'm vibing,
Yeah.
watching the Ritz bars.
Vibing.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
Chop
Oh,
through
see, that's a
one.
pretty
Mm,
big.
just
That's a
that
pretty
wall
big
hit.
Bobble,
And like,
yeah.
look at all the left foot
A
braking.
lot of left foot braking.
Like, that's a pretty ugly lead. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
feel like this lead
To be
was
fair,
probably
yeah, dude,
Hiroya's
I
worst all weekend.
I
I did
agree
not,
with that. Yeah,
even
I wouldn't
like
have
you
expected
watch
that.
I mean, it might be just because Forsberg has a more gripped up car than Manoa as well. But look on entry. Watch how much left foot braking Forsberg has to do to not run him over on entry.
Yeah, roll it back, roll it back. Yeah.
Yeah, so watch this. He enters. Manoa pulls. He brake. I think again, or maybe it's just late.
A lot of left foot brake.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously,
Right. Well,
Forsberg's
he
good
didn't
on
follow him out to the
inside.
zone though. Yeah, on 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looked like Hiroya was just stagnant through 1 and 2. Like he was
Yeah,
hard left
I
foot
mean,
there, left foot here too.
Yeah.
you see the front tire is a little smoky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little puff.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't clean from either driver, or that clean from either driver, but it was definitely once you got out of 1 and 2, I think Forsberg probably got the advantage.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have a good lead to have a good chase, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's that too.
Manoa's car looks sick.
It looks like
Amen.
Gushi's car. It bothers
yeah.
me.
Gushi's car, I think.
Can I full screen your screen? No,
I don't know.
I
can
don't
only
know
see the
how
top
to do
half
that
of the
either.
screen.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, Forsberg got on throttle when he needed to.
Yeah, he just did all the things.
Boom. Boom.
Little
This lead
off
got
on
5
three,
big
but-
booms. I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's a chicken bake. That's a chicken bake of a lead. You can't be too pissed at that.
The other thing is Manoa took out. He center punched the last inner clip too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I saw.
Yeah.
But definitely a much cleaner lead than Manoa.
Yeah. I mean, I assume the crowd wanted Manoa to win just because of how good his chase was, but that's
Right.
because Chris put a pretty solid lead down for
Right.
Manoa to chase, whereas Manoa's lead wasn't too hot. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, I mean, new
Yeah.
generation too now coming in. You know, nobody.
I like the lead heavy judging, dude. I think
I think the
mistakes
crowd
have
was
compound
just a bunch
interest as they go on throughout the track.
I think the
Yeah.
crowd was just a bunch of GT Radial fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That,
they
yeah.
were all paid actors.
Yeah.
They're all just Soros funded.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
no,
like you see,
think
like
it's-
Manoa is like ahead of Forsberg on getting to that inner clip. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't
so I
want that
think-
necessarily.
I think that's pretty fair, dude. Yeah.
And
all these new fans are just—they're not. You know, they want the kid to win because
yeah.
they're.
And
Right.
it wasn't like a
they're
long
new
decision
fans, they're
either.
young.
Like it was pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Then
That's
he did his
funny.
little spiel. Did his quick,
Alrighty. Odie Castro. I want to see this one because they did choose when Robbie went towards Castro, so I'm curious to see this one.
See that side by side action.
Yeah, just a
Whoa! Spoiling it here. What are we doing? Oh my God, Nate.
I haven't gotten this far yet.
All right, well, let's just watch the battle. Odie was my pick to win this year, so he didn't have the greatest of rounds for first round.
Yeah, I wouldn't count him out yet, though.
I'm not counting him out, that's for sure.
See that new Kevlar on that thing? Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, you made
I would
that.
prefer if he wrapped it, but you know, that's just me.
Yeah.
You don't like the exposed?
I like
Not the color it's in.
it. I don't like the
It-
rear end of the car.
It
at
just
all.
doesn't match the
No.
rest of
Yeah,
the car.
I think he needs.
You know when
more,
you did your
just more
exposed,
sticky.
or like Casey's was like blue exposed carbon? That was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
But,
Yeah.
like that
Please.
color.
This white car is the
carbon-
first car we full wrapped.
Yeah. So like that color carbon just doesn't work with his colors. I feel like.
I could totally agree with you on that. Especially it kind of it shows up a lot greener on the
Yeah.
live stream.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
green.
As it sunbakes and as it kind of gets more daylight to it, it'll start turning a little more like army brown tannish.
Okay.
That's
Which
cool.
I still don't know if that color will like clash or look good with the orange and green, but
Yeah.
um,
Because you guys are doing the doors and fenders on this thing.
just no doors, just front bumper, front fenders. He's this round he has my like rear quarters, my style rear quarters, but Casey made him new wider, big old fat tire boy
Yeah.
rear quarters, and then trunk and bumper and side skirts.
Yeah, I think
Sick.
the car looks
Yeah.
sick. Like I said, I think the back just needs a couple more stickies on it or something.
Could see that. It does look very middle heavy.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it kind of empties out throughout
I
the
was gonna
rest of
say
it.
I like the middle of the car, like graphics wise, like livery wise, and the front and back not so
I
much.
joked with
but-
him. I was like, "How much weight you save not wrapping those?" He's like, "Maybe like 0.2 grams."
No, dude, honestly, I mean, maybe I guess because he's the middle of his car is wrapped. I would say, I think on my car, we have like 60 pounds of vinyl on that thing.
What?
That's wild.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
heavy.
Yeah.
The vinyl is heavy, especially because ours isn't printed on one single layer. Emily goes in and like every sponsor sticker's 3 layers. Every color change is a separate layer that she does by hand. Every gold line that accents something is another, gold sticker that she went in and fucking cut. And so there's a lot of extra vinyl on that car just because we like to make it look sick.
Yeah.
But no, you pick up a full box of vinyl. And you're like, damn, these things are
It's
over
dense.
100 pounds.
Yeah.
That's
Bunch
crazy.
of-
Did Castro e-brake through 2 here?
Something he did something weird. I want to rewatch
He did
that.
something a little wonky.
I
Let me
think that's
see.
what. Yeah, because you see
Yeah.
Odie drop off real hard. Oh, here's another view.
I think he did that.
Odie
Because
didn't have to go on the rumbles there, but he for sure jumped him. Let's see. Oh, a little lost in the
Yeah.
But Castro does miss
something.
3. He misses 3, not by a lot.
Is that
but
what
he
put
does
Odie
miss
in
it.
that smoke line too? Odie committed to the deep line out to the wall and kind of got
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whited
Castro
out.
definitely like stagnated /
I think they'll have the side by side. So yeah. Okay, I get it. Let me see the side by side back. Maybe they don't show it. Oh, here it is. Because I remember Odie's lead was just nasty. Like, it was everything you wanted it to be. And obviously Castro's chase is sick, but
yeah.
he does something.
That is,
because Odie's catching him, and then all of a sudden
It looked like he pulled e-brake through under the bridge.
yeah.
Yep. Just like
Dab
for
a
a
e-brake.
quick tap, and it's just enough.
Stagnates his momentum.
Yep.
But
Yeah, and that's a huge deal for the chase car.
Yeah.
I forget who won this. Was it Castro or
no,
Odie?
it was Odie.
Odie.
That's
Odie
okay.
2-1.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Oh,
and there's
shocked
Robbie
that,
going different than everyone else.
What are we
Yeah.
doing, Robbie? Come on.
Yeah, I feel shocked that he did that, honestly.
I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to talk to like them and see how they kind of deal with the disagreements, because technically if you have a set of rules, you should never, and you go by the same set of rules, you should never have a differencing in a call.
right. Yeah, there's not a line angle judge line angle style judge anymore. Yeah.
Right. Technically, you shouldn't have a judge that goes a different way, but
Right. Maybe every once in a while, but yeah, pretty common. It's kind of wild.
yeah, and I'm always curious on how they hash that out. Like, is that like, do they talk about it before they make the call, and then like, do they make arguments for their side and then they make the call, or like how they kind of go about doing that?
Right.
Because I'm sure they don't like going against each other,
Yeah.
Oh, Field Sorenson is wild. I haven't seen this one. I'm turning my camera up so I can see the full battle here. Here we
Sorenson
go.
was on one.
Yeah, Field boofed it. He did
Yeah,
not.
Field messed up pretty good.
Yeah.
Boofed. He boofed.
He did. Oh, he did boost it. I forgot he did that.
Yeah, it wasn't very competitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which sucks. On paper,
honestly,
that's
for
one of the
me-
best battles of the day right there, I think.
Yeah, honestly, for me, runner-up, most disappointing driver was Field this weekend.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah,
Just because you
so
always expect so much of him. Oh, okay. I see.
Oof.
I see.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing Manawa did almost.
yeah, except
Yeah.
and then his chase, he did even worse.
His
He messed
chase
up
was,
on it.
yeah,
real
bad.
transition.
Gun boofed it in the chase.
Yeah, which is a
What
bummer.
big changes did he make this year?
None.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, his same, pretty much same setup. I think he refreshed a little bit, but like in terms of, I think setup wise, like he was even touching rumble strips there. Like it's just not a good lead.
Yeah, that's a big correction.
Interesting.
But
Great and
Sorenson, you know, is a kid that when we were doing our rankings like beforehand, like a guy that was like we kind of knew we keep seeing year after year the progression in him and the amount of time, the amount he drives, like he's gonna be continually progressing.
Yeah, he's got some cojones on
He's
him.
got a championship in the next 5 guaranteed. I think I said that
Oh,
last year, so I'll call next 4 even.
Yeah,
Like,
I would agree with you on
He's
that.
got
He's a
the team. He's
monster.
got the money
Behind that.
behind him. Like it's a.
He's got the car now this year too.
Yeah.
And he's got the kid I don't give a fuck attitude like behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But he's like getting older and
I love
making
how he's
smarter
just
decisions.
pushing.
That
He's just
attitude
pushing
isn't
Matt
going
Field
down.
across the
It's
line. Basically, it's so.
Yeah.
Funny.
yeah.
It's so good.
God, he's a scary person to see your name next to on a bracket for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even when he first got into it, it was still like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, is he gonna take it? And he just like, the evolution of Brandon Sorensen was just so fast.
Right. It was cool to see. I did, me and him did Pro-Am together. Me, him, Amanda, Rome, Micah Diaz. Who else was in there? I had a cool class of Pro-Am that I came in with a bunch of heavy hitters.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Big boof.
Yeah, big boof.
Yeah. that gets a doom right there.
They're gonna ding on that, for sure.
Yeah. Which is surprising from Field because he doesn't usually make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was a pretty big one. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes about next couple rounds. See if he can make up the ground.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that's just been searching for a championship for so long.
Yeah. Also, he may have. He's also another one of the guys who's always looking for more. You know, more grip, more power, more speed, more. And sometimes, you know, it's hard to be that guy and then also just be a human because you know we just make mistakes driving. So you set your car up to only work at 100%. Then you come out and maybe you're just having a shitty morning. And you're like, oh, I'm driving at 82% today. And it's just not enough to break the car loose. It's not enough to, you know, how I had to bobble because I just wasn't too aggressive into 2 or something.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he's a big proponent of going fast because watching him, like even in chase or especially in his leads, like he's not the type of guy to throw a lot of style or a lot of angle. He's like calculated, but he tries to be fast more than anything.
Right.
Jeez, Odie's leads are so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't watch this one, so I'm curious how Brandon beat him. Because Sorensen does beat Odie here.
Yeah, I bet he was stoked on that too. Brandon's probably still pretty upset about Atlanta last year. That was tight. That was a good little. He stayed in the cookie jar and then still kind of got his proximity back.
Weird correction there from Odie.
Yeah, was it a correction or just more angle? You know, I guess you're not.
Oh,
really
that's a
supposed to do that.
correction.
Yeah.
You poured on the angle randomly.
I think he was just trying to slow down the car without left foot braking it. But you can see at least.
It looked like he poured it in, then took a little out to get out of it, and then transitioned through it.
Yeah, you can see his front wheel, like when it comes in, he wobbles back out.
It's like boom, boom.
Yep.
So.
He does a little Herbie.
Only 2 big booms.
That would be a boom right there. 2 big booms. That bobble.
I kind of liked him. Maybe not after pulling the angle out, but I kind of like the the leaving outer 3 by almost just throwing a backy out of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
A natural slowdown.
Yeah.
I think it's like pretty fluid to chase with.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you had Dima going backwards in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Brandon's run here. This is sick.
yeah, Odie made that big checkup into.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
All the
Brandon
angle
brought
around
it
the
to
inner.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, he's a menace, dude. He's a menace. They're both insane.
Yeah, what was chasing Dima like when he was going backwards into outer 3?
You can go watch my in car. I got a longer in car that I had to kind of cut some seconds off of it. But no, I did. So coming through 3, if I had, you can kind of see my fingers, but it was one handbrake at the end of 3, and then another handbrake when he dumps the angle, and then he sits at the angle. Like, what an old move to do, dude. What an old, outdated. I got other people who do that. But, yeah, so it was kind of easy to see coming after the second dump of angle. So I just sat on the sat on the handbrake a third time, and then when I let go, you can see in my video, I'm like, "What are we doing?" I like put my hand up, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" So I hope to think that's not intentional. He was just getting a little saucy, but if it was, it didn't
he
work.
spun a couple times there in practice, I think. So
Okay, fair, totally fair.
there.
Yeah.
But damn, Brandon, that was a sick run.
Yeah.
Little pinball machine going down that.
Right. One of these days, that fucking BMW is just gonna be powered by an Air Force jet.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be. He's gonna have one jet out the back like Rocket League, and then he's gonna have one jet on top shooting down for downforce.
Keep him down. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get.
He's gonna have to boost to a corner
finals.
boost.
Let's get to
those
the
finals.
and then we'll go over like all the point system and stuff next.
Alrighty.
Because we are already almost an hour and a half into this.
Dang.
I know.
Look at us. We be chatting. We be yapping.
It does be like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon
Cam
asks chances Stuke gets a U.S. Marine or Navy on board to go against the Army and Air Force.
Dude, honestly, the Marines would be sick. No, dude, I don't think so. I think the Marines would be a sick one, if anything. I like shooting guns. I'm a SIG guy. I know the Marines got a bunch of SIG contracts, and
yeah.
I like puping for sure. But I really take pride in the fact that our title sponsor for 7 years now has just been me and the homies.
Yeah, buddy.
It's just we're our own title sponsor, baby. We do a lot of weird things to make it work, and we have a lot of weird like accommodations that you don't quite see in other teams, but I'm super proud of it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Hell yeah.
So cool.
Gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a sick lead by James, as always.
Yes.
For real.
Jimmy D laid it down.
Yeah, that was just another.
He was putting great leads down, like media day first run.
Every
It was
single
insane watching
one,
it too.
dude. It's just
I
wild.
think he
How
had like
do you do it
watching
every time?
him. I think he had 2 bad runs in the lead, maybe 1. But it was like
I mean, he did.
He could have been tighter on the inners. The only thing. Oh, he hit the wall in the touch and go.
No,
that part's cut off on my screen.
Outer 3, he does hit the wall. Slightly.
Oh.
Is this
Barely.
the very last one?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
it kind
is
of
the
pushes him
first-
straight.
This is the first
Yeah, just
run.
barely
Oh.
taps it and kind of.
Okay.
You can barely.
And
see
then yeah, leaves
then his
a foot and a
canard's just
half on the
flopping
inner,
around.
which is.
Yeah. But I mean, shit. Props to Osbo, dude, because I feel like people have been sleeping on him.
Which is a crazy statement, right? Right.
They're like, oh, he switched onto a new tire. We're not sure how he's gonna do, and then.
Like Papadakis would make a bad move before switching. You know what I mean? Like they didn't test before making that final decision. Like, yeah, right. Every move they make is calculated.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these battles were sick.
I do remember thinking in the moment that it was going to go Osbo first battle. I don't remember exactly what.
Oh, that car just looks so fast. Cause like
Osbo?
it's way
Yeah.
less floaty than just destroys the headlight. You missed a little bit there on the.
Dude, I'm scared for Osbo and freaking Atlanta because even on the Nittos, he was stupid quick up the hill, and with these
Yeah.
Kendas, he looks even faster. So that's gonna be insane.
That is like his.
So what did Osbo
bread
do
and
wrong in the
butter.
lead there?
I mean, he was like 6 inches off of 2 and 3. It looked like, but
Yeah.
I think they really dinged.
Is that off for a car that doesn't have a trunk though?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true. I
I-
mean,
I-
I guess that's my question. Are the judges looking at your tire in comparison to the wall, or your bumper?
We've always asked that same thing, and I feel like we get different answers at different places. I think for the most part, it's tire on tracks that don't have edges to the track, and it's bumper on tracks that do. So if it's a wall, they go bumper. If it's a zone hanging over grass, they go tire. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's kind of my understanding on it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, lines change way too much car to car.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, I didn't think Dean didn't have the aggressive dive into 2 that Osbo had in the chase. I feel like there was kind of a lack of proximity there. And then I think Dean was wider on 1 and had the touch in 3. I wouldn't have been surprised if, it was two Deans and a Robbie one more time. Or sorry, two Osbos and a Robbie one more time.
Right, because that was once they pick a winner, they don't tell you who voted who.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess maybe I can barely see the screen. Maybe Osbo was a little closer to the rumbles on initiation. Not that he was on them,
but I mean, he was definitely closer in chase.
right. I think Osbo was the fastest car of the weekend too, from what I've heard. People timing. Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought LZ was one of the faster ones, but
probably definitely one of the faster ones. I just don't know. I'm just going off of I know Tanner from Fuel Lab was timing, but
it could be like one of those things how like Osbo's car, like when he's going, it is always settled, and then like LZ's is sometimes 3-wheeling and doing like some crazy shit, and you got the RTR cars that like how I've been saying
very 3-dimensional.
Like I thought that from my looking down the alley, what only I could see from you and Ben's run, I was like, oh, I think Ben won. And then I actually saw it, and I'm like, from the outside perspective, that makes sense. But like, as like a fan or even like media or whoever's just watching,
so they
I'm
didn't decide it off of that run. That was one more time.
Yeah.
Those cars have like a wow factor and things. So
was it a one more time with 1 to Dean? From
no,
Robbie?
it was one either way and a one more time.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I think that's fair. I think they both had things that, depending on what you're looking at, you could have said, maybe,
Yeah, because
that's where James lost because he hits the wall.
Yep. That's right.
I mean, just watching
maybe
these
that's
guys warm up though, and they do warm their cars up. I feel like differently than a lot of other people. Just the way Dean throws that car.
Yeah, he just scrubs the fronts instead of warming up the rears too much.
Right.
These 2 guys are just such weapons on the track. It's wild.
Taking notes, dude, for sure.
Well, the thing is like Dean's like a guy. Like I just wish I could be that good at something.
Yeah.
Granted, I know he puts the years into being good, but man,
like, watching those Mustangs come down that is just wild.
They're so big, dude.
They are so aggressive looking.
Osbo's right there, and then boom.
Yeah, someone was saying about their line from the touch and go to the inner. I think maybe it was Casey, maybe it was someone from another team, but there's only one line an RTR car can take on that last turn because they're so big that like to touch the touch and go, they're already on line for the inner. Like there's no other variation they have to make. It's just perfectly one RTR's car's worth of space.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If you watch his in-car video, James's from that run, you could watch him. He talks about how he like puckered, I think, during like the trophy ceremony.
Yeah.
Then when you watch his run, you could see him like in the seat, kind of like squinch up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here it comes.
At the touch and go.
Yeah, right here, right on outer 3. Right
yeah. Okay, right.
You thought it was gonna be a lot worse. I mean, he did really fucking hit it, but like, yeah, I mean, when you think you might do a little bend and snap action, might do a little ride up the wall or something.
Right.
Yeah, that was It was a bump, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was pleased with the outcome overall. This entire event.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I think so too. I think more often than not, for sure, that was the right call.
yeah.
Well, and I mean, the thing is like FD needs to do a better job at explaining it. Like, in my opinion,
They did. But we can't take away the fact that they killed it exponentially better than previous years.
correct.
How
Mhm.
many
True.
times did you hear like over like they're like, all right, well, let's go talk to Reese or let's go talk to Brian,
Right.
or and it was like, wow.
I just think there were a couple battles they missed that on.
Yeah, like some like Nick's definitely would have like a little bit more elaboration, but the fact that they're making the steps in the better direction for the viewer and the fans of understanding the sport, and even ourselves, like just
Right.
multiple times where I don't know. Like, all right, well,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was crazy. I even texted Brandon. I was like, Brandon, I'm like, I think maybe they're listening to us. I'm like, maybe after all the things that we said, I was like, they're doing more judge explanations. They're doing like more like quick like interview and like side like cameras and things like that to keep like the
Right.
viewers interested. The ad time was like a little bit lower, in my opinion. Like,
It's
and
still a lot, but it was lower. I agree.
it was
I
a
feel like
lot,
there was less ads, but they were longer, maybe.
and they were
Yeah.
different. I think.
They're
I wonder if it's because there
entertaining
wasn't as
it,
many
though.
crashes.
Yeah.
True.
They
Yeah.
usually get to fill airtime. I know they have like some certain number of ads that they probably
I
have to
can
hit.
tell you,
There's a quota, but
my
Not a
company
ton of
definitely
OMTs
noticed how
either.
many times they played ads.
yeah,
Like, yeah, we're like, yeah, we did play them a lot.
yeah. It was always at the start of my battles. They were like, I'd be up there ready, car running, and then they'd look at me and be like, "Chill out,
Yeah.
chill out."
I did say to Nate too, like all of us media people standing on that front wall as you're coming out of 2 and going into 3, how many times we're standing there and we're like, like Jared's talking or like they're talking on the mics, and then all of a sudden it's like there's no different cadence in their voice or anything, and it's just like there's cars coming down. And all of us are now scrambling to the cameras of like,
Oh
oh fuck,
shit!
like there was like no extra hype. Oh, like nobody
Right,
knew.
right.
Yeah, so that one definitely got me a
That's
couple of
funny.
times.
And a lot of the ads are just Jared, reacting to other battles
Yeah,
of the past.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
exactly. So you get kind of jaded to it, and you just like
right.
close it
You hear
out.
1-0 doctor and you just start freaking
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it's like shit, my job.
Alrighty, guys. I think it's time to get into the point system because it is a weird one to say the least. Little hard to comprehend. We got
You think
Homeboy
so?
over here sitting in 5th place and he gets knocked out in top 16. It's like, what?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I think come later in the season it'll make more sense for sure. I think it looks drastic and a little goofy. I totally agree. Seeing my name up there is wild, and I'm not sitting over here like, I did 5th best at the event. I know for damn sure I did not. It's cool to see my name up there on that list in between those guys. I'm gonna try my hardest to keep it up there, but I think there will be a better point spread at the end of the year versus my phone's on the being used for a camera, but you can go up and look at last year's results and see how many different sets of numbers there are. I think.
Right.
Is it 8? That makes sense for 8 rounds, but I feel like it's
Well, you can count them right
something
here.
like
You
that.
got 3, 6, 10, 19, 20, 22,
There should
30, 40, and 50. So a lot more variation in the sets
I
of
think
numbers
it's
that you can earn.
11 different numbers versus 5 last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then at the end of the year, you won't have, your 1, 2, 3, 4, but then 5 through 13 are the same exact number, and then that is just broke down off of your last event's performance and stuff.
Looking at it, there weren't a ton of ties last year. Like it was 12th and 13th, and
I mean, you got 316,
What?
316,
Last year there wasn't a bunch of ties?
344,
No.
386s. You got 442, 442, bunch of 484s, 494, 494, 554, 554, 554. Or sorry, I'm reading the negatives, but they're the same. But yeah, So
I mean,
there's quite a few areas where you're getting the same numbers, and hopefully that this is going to change it. Not that it's a big issue, honestly. For me, I'm more excited about.
I think there's a lot of drivers who have found safety and comfort in mid pack for years, and I'm excited to see them have to
That's what I'm excited for
kind of
because I
work at it
think this
again.
is going to shake that up. I think.
Right? Yeah.
And now
It,
here's the argument against it, and I guess Brandy, you can start with talking about how you don't like it. Obviously, the argument against it is you are rewarding people that are doing poorly in the series.
that's not true.
It's a little. That's not exactly what I said. All right, it's not exactly what
I would say. I would never say that losing to James Dean in a 32 battle is doing poorly. I would say that is just a being a victim of circumstance almost. You know, and then now you're in the seeding bracket. How do you get out of the seeding bracket? Oh, I got to beat Osbo. Okay, well, you didn't. Next round, how do I get out of the seeding bracket? You got to beat Tuerck. Okay, well, I didn't. You know, and as a driver who's like, these guys up top have been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for 5. How do I split the gap? Well, I split the gap by getting battles with, you know, Jonathan Hurst, Ken Gucci, Rat Dan. There's got to be incremental steps to becoming a Frederick Osbo, and you can't just go from a Rudy Hansen rookie year to being a Frederick Osbo. You really need realistic steps in the middle. So I like that this kind of brings back those, maybe brings back, I don't know if they were ever there, but it gives you kind of a step to just be realistic and understand that maybe you're not a number 1, number 2, number 3 championship driver yet, but you know have a way to be now.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned just before, you said that, you know, you're 5th place and that you feel like that you didn't drive to 5th place, and, you know, and I would almost like kind of argue that because you did have to go through that many different battles. It's just you didn't have to battle James Dean to get that 5th place.
Right.
Like, there's no taking away the fact that you did have to earn those points. You didn't just get given that position. So like, all because you didn't have to just knock out like some of those people that you had just mentioned.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that like you don't deserve something. And the fact that now that they're making, what is it, for winning you get 60 points instead of 100 or 50?
It's 50. That was the other comment.
Unless you win seeding bracket and
yeah. Yep.
I purely don't like the new point system purely on the seeding bracket and how many points you get from it from a sporting perspective. Like, FD's 22 years old, and I feel like it's in its discovery phase, like an actual 22-year-old human being is, and it's like trying to figure out if it wants to be entertainment or if it wants to be like a sport. Because, you know, whoever would have won the seeding bracket, whether it's you, Dan, whether it was Ben, whether it was whoever, and you know, you go into 6, like you win in 32, then you go into 16, and then you lose. In my head, from like a sporting perspective, you shouldn't be in 5th. You should be in 9th. Like 9th makes sense. Like if it was 2 points per battle you win in the seeding bracket, that would make sense in my head.
But it's 3.
Like, yeah, but it's 3.
It's so
and that
close.
3 makes a big difference though. That's you know, 4 points.
Yeah.
It's just like right now, maybe you know, you're probably right in the sense of when the season goes on, that spread will be better. But
for
like
sure,
right
for
now,
sure.
just at it in my head, it's like Chris Forsberg got out in the 8, and he was the lowest driver in the 8, so he should be an 8th. But right now, he's a 9th. You know, and it just doesn't make sense to me. But that's just me. You know.
Well,
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from.
Here's the thing that I like about it. It makes the top 32 battles even more pivotal. Because if Dan loses his next 32 battles, he's in seeding bracket, even though he's in 5th place right now.
You'd have been pissed if I won my 16 and I would have been in 2nd.
Yeah.
Exactly. It would have been
that's
crazy.
Goofy. That's goofy. Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
And then if you would have gone to the finals and you lost in the finals, you would have been in 1st in the championship, which again doesn't really make any sense to me.
I don't know. I had to do more battles.
That's true. Like I said, like how I said, like you did earn.
And also, and it's not like, and you're looking at it, I think at the beginning of the year, it does look a little goofy for sure.
Yeah.
But also, you can't say that the seeding bracket at the beginning of the year is you were saying, like a punishment almost for being a shitty driver, because Daigo's in there, Shanahan's in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of legends in there that somebody had to beat to get out of there. I didn't.
I agree, but I feel like it's the relegation of, whether you're just entering the series again or you're entering the series for the first time or you didn't do
Mhm.
well last year, or even, since FD's doing the thing now where the last round matters, like you're only as good as your last race, like you're in the seeding bracket because you didn't do well the previous round or the previous season. So you're there for, whatever reason that may be. And it's like, you should be rewarded. I think you should be given points. I'm glad they're doing that this year and more points, I guess, percentage wise than last year, but just the amount, at least just looking at it now, again, probably as the season goes along, like the point spread will be better. It's just right
Right.
now looking at it, it's just a bit goofy in my
Right.
eyes.
I don't like the qualification placement based on your previous round, because the
Yeah.
tracks are so different. And like, I suck at Seattle. This is the example I always go to. I suck at Seattle. I hate it. It's my least favorite track. But I love Utah. So like, I hate already, no matter what I do, even if I could have been number one qualifier at Utah or something like that, or I really shine here, I hate shit. My Utah's already over in Seattle because I'm going to go up against Osbo or someone in
Yep.
Yeah.
like it doesn't even give you a chance to refresh, and then you just get hit with these rounds over and over and over, and then at the end of the year you're like, fucking, I didn't get any battles, dude. I didn't get any battles of my peers, like
Yeah.
I know, like, well, you should see yourself as a champion. If you're here, you should be trying to, but there's a realistic aspect to this where you
Right.
can't
Yeah,
just be
it's
like,
like
no, 10 times out of 10 I'm gonna beat James. Eat shit. No, you're not. Nobody is. So I don't know. I like the shakeup this year. You're right. It does look totally goofy. Maybe 3 is not the right number. Maybe it is the right number. But I think towards the end of the season, I think it will look like it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because now I don't have the chance to get bonus points going into the next one. So now
True.
I'm getting
Yeah.
now and other drivers, like, I know, like Rad Dan isn't super happy with it because I don't know.
Like, well, he's
So some people are like, you get a chance at more points for being a shitty driver. So if you're saying you're getting rewarded and getting points for being a shitty driver, I shouldn't use the word shitty driver, but like for being in that lower thing, I use that because I'm usually the one in seating bracket. But now I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
like for me, I like it because it keeps refreshing the seating bracket, and that was the problem last year. Is like guys would get stuck, and then they never got out. And what this does is it gives drivers opportunities. Like a Dimitri Bruschi is a perfect example of this. Dude won, I think, 3 seating brackets. Didn't mean shit for the whole year.
Yeah.
And like that dude was still stuck at the back of the pack because he would still get. Maybe he just didn't perform in top 32, but maybe he had some
or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd only get like the 24, the 14
Yeah.
points you get from winning. I do like that this year. Like as you progress through the seeding bracket, you get more points. Because last year you win that first battle, that's the points you get. And if you go to the finals, whoop-de-doo, you get a cookie.
Yep. Yeah.
So
It'll it keeps giving people motivation to not just like drop out and be like, no, I'll take my someone battle tomorrow instead of my Osmo battle.
Satria said use seeding points to jump up in standings, but like that's the thing, like you can't actually like beat the system like that because
right.
So for instance, like for you, Dan, like you won the seeding bracket. Now you're in 5th. Like you're not gonna, if you flunked out these next 2 rounds, like Nate said, like that's what's going to put you back there. So you ultimately have to like throw and purposely not.
Which then, what do the numbers add up to at the end of the day after you do that? Yeah. So maybe it is a little advantageous to like, be in it just first round and then never dip back into it.
Yeah. And then like, if you do try that throwing method, like then you still have to work for it in seeding bracket. It's not like everybody's just going to roll over. Like nobody wants to be there.
For real.
And
just keeping your car together for 4 more battles is tough.
Yeah, exactly.
It,
All
you
that
know,
use and everything. So I think that it is very fair that it is rewarded, and I think like what Brandon's saying, the fact that like it is crazy to see you in fifth place, but how I believe that you're deserving of it. But it's just the fact that it is the first round, and once you get
right,
to the second round, all those people that were in the seeding bracket that progress will not be there. Now you're gonna have these other dudes, and like God forbid, like you go out in 32, you're going to be in the placement where it would like make sense almost
right,
somewhat like
right.
um
Yeah,
so ultimately I love this what they did. I
Yeah,
it
well,
make
I'll admit at first I wasn't a big fan of it, but the more I thought about it, I was like, this makes a lot of sense for trying to keep things fresh in the seating bracket
yeah,
because that was the big issue last year. It was the same
right,
guys,
it was
and
terrible to see. You
Yeah.
see literally always the same dudes because like you said, then you get out and it's like I don't even want to
right.
go outside. There's a fucking storm out there, and the
Yeah,
storm is
yeah, yeah,
James Dean, Osbo,
yeah. Right,
Forsberg, like
right.
LZ at the
It
back.
does. It is like it's such a hard ceiling. But I mean, like, if it did stay that way for years and years and years, at least the only answer out of that situation is to, oh, now I'm able to beat those guys. Where like
Yeah,
it's a tall order, but it is once that bubble pops, you're like, oh shit, I'm up here now. I'm like
it's not
actually up here.
it's not impossible as we've seen it, in Seattle with Jim, or I almost called him Jim Jones. Like hell yeah, we fly high.
Yeah.
Jeff Jones with Dean in Seattle, and
Yeah.
he just drove like he normally does, and Dean made a big mistake, and like that's a pure sign of even the best fall down.
Right.
Like it is obtainable, but obviously everybody knows it. It's so much harder.
Is that a
So
James Blunt song? Sorry.
what even the best fall
No,
down.
something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah, I made a Jim Jones reference and a James
Yeah.
Blunt. Hell yeah.
Dude, you're on it, baby.
but no, I think it's a good thing, and I think people once they kind of see a couple rounds go by, I think they'll be excited for it. I mean, look what
Right.
it's already set up for the next round. Like all of these guys, Tommy. Well, I guess technically, I think it's Jack Shanahan and Tommy Lemaire will still be in the seeding
Okay.
bracket because I think it's the top 20 that make it in.
Yep.
When I looked at the last top 32 bracket, it was up to top spot 20 that was filled. So, but yeah, so look at a guy like Rudy Hansen, Derek Madison, Dimitri Brutsky, Andy Haitley, all get out of seeding bracket. I don't
Yeah.
think any of those guys got out of seeding bracket last year except for maybe Dimitri.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now they have an opportunity just to go straight to a top 32 battle. And
Right. Have a chance at a normal event.
Yep.
And if they lose that, then they're back in, and that's fine.
Right.
And then they get another
Yep.
chance to get a couple set of points, and maybe like a Ken Gushi has a couple tough rounds or something, and loses in top
Right.
32 a couple rounds. Well, now he's back in. So
Yeah.
Right.
so like I really like that it's involved. It will involve more drivers than it did last year, and I know some drivers that are like in that 15 to like 18 range are not gonna like that, but.
Mm-hmm.
It's also because you're right. There was like this like safety Sally. Like if you won like every other top 32 battle, you kind of just you were gold. You were good.
Right.
I mean, if you had
Right.
one good event where you made a top 8 or something, like you didn't have to really worry about seeding bracket. So
Yep.
I think this way it really does make that side of it.
Makes
a lot more
everybody work
interesting.
for it. Makes
It's
everybody work for
like
it.
a big Jenga.
Yeah.
Pulling pieces out and putting
Yeah.
them back on top.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
literally
dude.
doing it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited, and ultimately I was a little, not gonna lie, a little anxious to see how this very, minimalistic field was, but it's a minimalistic field of incredible drivers, and
For real.
ultimately it made this event so much cooler.
It ran it smooth. I
It
I
ran
think the
smooth.
level of driving also improved how well the event ran.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
you're not
Yeah.
which I'm a proponent of more drivers. I've always been a proponent of more drivers.
too.
I like the variety, but I
I
hate to
don't
admit it. Events do run better when you have a lower driver count and better drivers.
Yeah, nobody
For
wants
sure.
to slouch, and I also don't like the idea of like, oh well, you made it to the seating bracket. Only one person's gonna get knocked out. It almost feels like a participation trophy for everybody else. But at the
Right.
same time, I was like,
Now you're getting
this
points.
is cool looking now. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't give a damn. I'm
It's
like,
good
well,
entertainment
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. They're not gonna go against each other again until like maybe top 8 or top 4 if they happen
Right.
to. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all the battles are gonna be different. So what do I care? Participation trophy it is, dude. You've spent all this goddamn money to get out there, so what the hell?
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck, poor Freddie. My God, he's the only one that's got to sit out now. Like, golly.
For real. I know that sucks. That sucks. I feel
Yep.
like what happened too was Tommy blew up his car, and I feel like everybody took a sigh of relief too, because the old rules were once you turn a practice lap. I'm pretty sure that was your.
It
And they
was
use the term official practice, but I feel like
official
official
practice
practice
warm up.
is now warm up, but it used
Yep.
to be the second practice session,
Yes, it
and
was.
not so now
Yeah.
the third.
Yep.
So when Tommy's motor blew up, I think everyone kind of down there took a sigh of relief, and they're like, okay, no matter what, I'm in the show.
Yep.
And then Tommy comes back and he's like, I found a car, and everyone's like, oh shit, oh no.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was just kidding. I love Tommy, dude. Funny.
Oh yeah.
And that dude drove the wheels off that thing too, so he
Yeah, he
deserved to be
did.
there.
Yeah, he did. It's nice to see him have a car that he's got to work to get the power back up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Comes a little too easy to some of these guys.
Yep. Just blow
Not
through the
Tommy, just all
throttle.
V8 guys. All V8 guys. I'll give it to all of them.
Yeah.
We love our turbos over here.
Yeah. So
Also, speaking of shameless plug, dude, we got rid of all of our nitrous this year. Made the car so much lighter, and it's so
What?
much happier. Yeah, dude, the next gen turbo, precision turbo stuff is crazy. It spools quicker, makes just as much boost, if not more boost. But we were able to lose quite a bit of weight out of the car, which is cool. But then us being a small program, we were able to take like 1,200 pounds out of our trailer, which, going into some of these states, I may or may not be licensed to drive in. It's nice not being, every bit comes back to that being overweight. But then also like dedicating one guy to filling nitrous bottles like every day sucks, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes
Handling
the
it
compressor, and you got to
properly.
bust the scales out, and you got to make sure your mother's bottle's full, but then you never remember to fill the mother bottle, and you're like, we got to leave tomorrow. I'll go whip up and fill like it.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing to take out of the program, and definitely a good size thing to take out of the car. I'm so excited to see how that plays out this year too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bold strategy because I don't know. I feel like everyone's just like nitrous is king at this point. So
But then,
Yeah,
like,
dude, I don't know. Everyone thinks
who
weight's king too. Everyone thinks giant tires is king. Yeah, I mean,
who
there's a
else-
really heavy car on really big tires with nitrous on top right now, so they may be right, but I think it's turning, dude. I think the tables are turning. James Dean would do the same if he was in a 275S chassis with a JZ. It's him for sure.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's true. It'll be interesting. But let's look at the 32. It's some of the guys that are going to be in the seating bracket because there's some big names.
You got the whole bracket printed out?
Well, I got I already know who won and lost.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. Tight.
So we
That's
got
why I thought I had El
Saito.
Jefe.
Saito's going to be in there. You got Jonathan Hurst. He's going to be in the
Okay.
seating bracket. That's going to be sick. Not for him, but just in general.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Nick Novak is going to be in there. Another heavy hitter.
Wow. Okay.
Jack Shanahan, because he
Yup.
lost. Yep. Let's see.
Rudy's gonna be in there. Austin's gonna be in there.
I don't think
Yeah, with
Austin
it.
is.
Oh wait,
No. Oh, because he got points. Yeah, you're
Would
right.
Simon be in there?
No, Austin. Never mind. No, Austin is in there. He didn't get points.
Oh,
You're right.
okay.
He lost his
Simon?
32.
Oh, yeah. It was first
Jeff-
battle. I thought it was 8.
Jeff Jones, and then Derek. No, Derek got 3 points.
Yeah, is Simon in there?
Rome.
Rome.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon?
So-
Question mark.
And Red Dan.
Yep,
And Simon
question
Olsen.
mark.
Yeah.
So Olsen, so that's a lot of big names.
I'm excited to be. You know what, dude? You know what? I just figured out my favorite thing about this seeding bracket is now that I'm not like in it every single round. Hopefully not next round. I miss driving. My favorite thing about driving Pro Spec was just being able to chill. Sorry, I'm squeaking my pedals. Was just being able to chill and watch comp and watch pro guys. And that's always my bright side of getting knocked out earlier is I can sit down with the team and actually watch what we love to watch, because that's why we all started it, is watching these guys and being busy battling all day, dude. As cool and as that's what we're here for. One of the little downsides is just not being able to sit and watch these fucking incredible drivers.
For sure.
So it's cool to have these heater seating brackets, and then now I'll be able to actually, sit down, maybe have a beer or something, depending on if the day's over for me, and just watch people shred again. It's so nice. That's why I like Hot Pit. I don't want to drive Hot Pit because it's one series I'm not emotionally invested in, but has good driving. So I watch all the live streams.
Oh yeah.
And it just feels good to be a spectator sometimes, dude. It makes you remember what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, Uncle Tito's and some applesauce.
Dude, I don't know about that. Now you got to be up early tomorrow. That's for afterwards. Dude, oh yeah, you did. That's right. Yeah. I didn't even recognize the reference. We chased some Tito's with applesauce at the end of the last event while we were loading up. We were all big chilling in the RV, dude. That was fun.
All right.
All the officials. He was paying them. I saw it.
That's what it was. It was giving Sopa his line bonus for holding.
So, do you got a list, or do you know who's driving this weekend?
Who, me? Oh yeah. It is me and Casey, which is sick.
Yeah.
Rome, Sam Megmomi,
Yep.
Trent Beecham. So me, Casey, Rome, Sam, Trent, Jeff Jones.
Nice.
Was O'Sully doing it? O'Sully did it last year. Yeah. I think O'Sully.
Is like a Mohan coming out, or?
I don't think a Mohan's coming out. He was at the Nightlights meet. I saw him. That was nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the 8th is, but that's the majority of them.
Okay.
You know what? I got it here. Let me throw my camera down for a second.
But yeah, so while he's checking that out, we'll quick get the final drivers list on that. But yeah, if you guys are bored, you should definitely check it out because it's a fun little series they run out in Long Beach. And like he said, I'm surprised.
Margaritas Cat Sam.
Oh, okay, Margaritas. That's right. That makes sense. Yeah, and then obviously Atlanta, we got Prospect, so that's
let's go, dude. And start of the year, baby.
And Grid
Prospect,
Life and
Grid Life.
It's
ooh.
Atlanta's gonna be insane,
jam packed.
Great.
But all right, guys, we have hit the 2-hour mark. I think we hit all of the topics.
You didn't ask your question, dude.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh,
I was gonna ask that. But I was just preparing people because it is the last questions I was going to ask.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Chill out here, Herbie.
Derek Madison was my first answer, as you know. I was very pleased with his driving. He really stepped it up.
Okay, so yeah. So the question is, who was the guy that you were impressed with the most this weekend, and who was the guy that disappointed you? We can go with impressed first. I'm picking Brandon Sorenson.
Okay.
Impressed?
See, impressed. I feel like impressed implies that I had to start at a low level of
who do you
assumption.
See, who improved for you?
Who got you all Randy?
That's a good question, dude. To be honest,
another
between
one
two right now.
Another one. He didn't get the results, but Mata I was really impressed with. I was proud of
him.
him.
Dude. And that's kind of why I asked that question, that impressed implies that I have to start at a base low, because I just know he shreds. I kind of expected him to do what he was going to do, and he met my expectations. But I'll throw him in there as my most impressive for the weekend. Just watching him throughout practice, and
but he didn't get a lot of practice. That was the thing.
Just the second, or just
the second day he had no practice.
I don't know. What?
Yeah, his first runs were battles against Manoa on the second day.
Oh yeah, okay. No, it was, and he was having clutch issues the second day too. But no, the first day, dude, he was just shredding.
Yeah,
seemed like the car was good.
Who disappointed me though?
I'm going.
dude,
Hobson,
disappointed hat.
impressed.
It's easy. It's
Who?
Daigo.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying.
going Daigo.
Yeah, I was expecting some crazy stuff.
Like
I
I
mean,
get.
at the same time,
I
I didn't
wasn't, but
expect
I'm still
anything, so I
disappointed.
don't know why I would be disappointed.
I
Like,
know. Yeah. So we
I
got
wasn't
Brandon here with the
expecting
hot
much.
take city that thinks Daigo's
Let's
just
hear it,
washed.
Brandon.
I didn't say it. Yeah, no, yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
I would say I'm disappointed. Like I was hoping he'd do well, but I didn't
did
have the highest expectations for Daigo.
Yeah, I was curious to see if he would live up to the hype or if maybe it is just an era thing. You know,
Maybe
the sport moves very very quickly, and not that he's not still very
I will
active
say
in it, but
practice
FD
even-
develops
Yeah, in practice,
faster in
I don't
America.
know.
I feel
You
like.
guys tell me because you guys actually watch practice, but the stuff I did see of him wasn't impressive.
I mean,
Yeah.
you saw probably some of the footage, so
Yeah.
that we got of him.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'll call that a bummer. That I was excited to see some nastier stuff for sure.
Yeah, and
I was disappointed in the livery. I'm not a fan of the blue camo. I feel like it was very like 2005 snowboarding, and I was that guy in 2005. You know, like, don't get me wrong, but
I got made fun of because I'm like, I've never liked Bape. I don't understand
Yeah.
why you would spend so much money on like silly looking attire. Anyways, then like the whole chat was saying broke boys don't understand. And
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't afford taste, Herbie.
Yeah. But like Daigo's shirt he wore under his suit was a Bape shirt, which is baller. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
But
it's like, I don't know how much money.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it?
I still don't know. I don't know what Bape is.
It's
like
like one of those street.
I mean, I know what it is now. I know what it is
Yeah.
now, but you know.
It smells like.
Does Ken Gucci wear it?
Yeah,
Does Ken Gucci wear Bape?
he's sponsored by Asics this year, which is I think
Well,
even
I think
more baller than
Asics-
that.
I'm saying Ken Gucci is the most stylish motherfucker I've ever seen. Like his,
Yeah.
whatever when he wears stuff outside of the track or even when he's not in his race suit, that motherfucker he's steezy. That's a steezy boy. So if he wears Bape, Bape must be cool. But I don't know. I don't know if he does.
Seen him with any Bape on.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, the engine failure wasn't necessarily his fault, but again, the seating bracket really was underwhelming. Everyone was
Right.
hyped for that Jack Shanahan battle, and I was just like, and then he hit the wall, and it was like, oh, okay, it's over.
I don't think that is. I don't think that should be taken as a testament to their driving abilities. I think it should be taken as a testament to how tough it is to actually step into this space and adapt to how gripped up these cars are and how on point you have to be. And there's a lot of, and I would say that maybe even like, I don't even know. You got to be careful even dropping names on the internet this year stuff, you know. But like a Luke Fink, like how would Luke Fink have gone if he came in?
Right.
And he drives with pro dudes all the time in pro cars all the time. I get it, but there really is an aspect of pressure and limited seat time, and it's a hard learning curve to come into this, dude. Like
It's different. Yeah.
it is different for sure. So it's almost refreshing to see these like world renowned drivers kind of get a little reality check and be like, whoa, you know, like I really am gonna have to dial my shit in here.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if Mad
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
Widet came over, do you really think he'd be competing for a championship?
No.
Right.
I don't.
Well, you know, would he choose a chassis that has to keep his sponsor obligations and crazy Mad Mike builds going, but then he chose this chassis and the chassis is not great for being consistent kind of thing, and it's a lot of stuff, dude.
A lot
A lot of stuff. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Chuck, I mean, I'm not worried about name dropping on the internet. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Everybody hates me on the internet. I already gotta be so careful.
Yeah.
You got some lovers and you do have some haters. That's
I got a small handful of hardcore lovers, dude. I can.
The problem is
I know them all
that
by name for sure.
the haters have never actually gotten to interact with you, and the moment
Oh,
that
dude.
they get 5
Yeah.
seconds, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a fucking asshole. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
the asshole."
Yeah, maybe I'm the asshole. I've interacted with a few of them in real life. I've interacted with a lot of them on the internet, and they definitely seem different there. But then, yeah, at the driver autograph signing or something, it'll just kind of I can tell who just kind of keeps their nose up and pretends I'm not there and won't even make eye contact with me. And I'll be like, "Hey, brother,
So,
you want me to sign that thing? You want a little skin the game card? What's up? How's your day going? You enjoying the weather? You look beautiful. How you doing?" That kind of stuff. That always gets him back. Like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay. You know, that's the. So I'm like, whatever. No, it doesn't get me like it used to.
Yeah.
That's
Hell
funny.
But
Yeah,
overall,
but
great
like I said,
event.
congrats on the winning the seeding bracket. Obviously, was
yeah.
Thank
no
you.
joke. You had some serious battles in there. It was great to see the rookies come out swinging.
For real. Yeah.
I would say the 3 prospect guys look better than Daigo this weekend.
Yeah.
They look good. That's for sure.
So, I wasn't expecting to say that. That's for sure. But
Yeah. Right.
But no, I honestly, again, it's one of the smoothest running FD events I've ever been to.
For sure. Same.
And again, everyone hanging out in the chat, you guys have been awesome. Didn't really get the opportunity to answer a ton of questions. Obviously, Herbie got to a couple. Next show, next week, we'll definitely do a lot more of the questions and stuff like that and do some more guest stuff. But wanted to get to this event while it was fresh in our minds and not every time you get a seeding bracket winner up here. 5th place overall in the standings. Not bad, Stuke.
Thank you. Hell yeah. I'm gonna let it ride, dude. It's I've never started a season not in a hole. I feel like so it's cool to have confidence going into Atlanta. But yeah, we didn't get to your questions. Hit me up on Instagram, dude. I'm a small person on social media, which means I reply to absolutely everybody. Unless you're in there talking shit in my message request folders, then I'll leave it. But I reply to everybody the best I can, dude. I literally do.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, Herbie, Brandon, what do you guys got going on?
Me? I have to go up to Jersey at some point soon.
Okay, well that's
Yeah,
boring.
and Matt
Okay,
fix
that's
his
cool.
car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Does Matt have a car running yet?
Yeah, is Matt's car working? What's going on here?
Got Dono this weekend.
So that's a no.
Ooh. Hoping it goes well.
It'll be A-okay. Everything's going to be so good. And
It'll be
Except
okay,
when
Herbie.
water starts pouring out of the block.
it can't
Oh
happen
no! Don't
again.
say that.
Hey.
Don't say that.
It can't happen
That's
again.
crazy.
Oh, knock on wood right now.
That's crazy.
I heard it. He knocked on his head. Bro, I had bald power this weekend. My homie Josh came with, and he's also a smooth topped man as yourself.
Hell yeah.
And every battle I was going out, I was giving him a good old noogie rub. I like a smooth topped man might be my new favorite way to say bald guy as well.
I fuck with it.
A smooth topped fella.
I'm a smooth top man.
Yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
So crazy, like a smooth top man, like is he?
Yeah, like a sharp dressed man. Hell yeah.
All right, Brandon, you
Hell
doing
yeah.
anything relevant with your life?
I got virtual Drift Masters this weekend. I sucked
Hey,
too
that's
much
cool.
last year, so I had to wild card my way into round 1.
Whoa.
So I'm just gonna try to upset people, just drive well. But
What track is it?
it's a new one. It's Vallelunga
Oh.
in Italy. So it's their new layout.
That's bro, hands down. It comes preloaded on AC. That's that and Highlands Ringen are 2 of my favorite places to drive
Yeah,
ever.
it's
Ever.
fun
If you want to get some
doing
laps,
it.
dude, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to get some laps for sure.
Sick.
Does Zach have a V8 in his car for?
He does, yeah. I found a V8 in the VDC physics suite that is just ridiculous. It's like literally this type of curve. It's just
What is it out of the E92?
no. Something
Oh.
different. It's a little different.
Ooh, tight. Okay.
Got another new spice that he's gonna try. That
Damn.
Yeah, that's what Zach ran when he won Silverstone. So
Sick.
he
Are
switched
you
to that.
using it too?
I am, yeah. I'm just sucking in the E92 right now, but it's okay.
I love the E92, dude.
Figuring it out.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Oh shit. Well,
fucking boat. But yeah.
All
Well,
right.
shit. Well, hit me up, dude. I'll get that track downloaded, and I'd love to jam with you
Yeah,
Hell
for
if
sure.
you want. If you want.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. And again, thank you for everyone in the chat. Like I said, we had a huge success this weekend on YouTube. You guys got us over 10,000 subs, which is
Sick.
awesome. You know,
Wow.
so
He
Congrats.
said too, it was crazy. He was actually before the event. He's like, dude, every sub we get, I'm paying you $1. It's wild. He actually said that.
What?
yeah, okay.
Tight. He's like, yeah. Hell, Bobby, I was high when I said that.
Shit, Bobby.
Yeah, Ricky.
Oh man, but no, it was really cool. Everyone came out and checked out the channel, and had a couple people ask for pictures, which was kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. I'm like,
Feet
I don't
pics?
do anything, but no, it's cool that we got a lot of fans out there in the FD space, and
Tight. You're the official pre-party for sure.
oh yeah, heck
Yeah.
I try to be fun.
The pre-party for the online boys.
you got to,
Try to be fun.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Tight.
Herbie's holding it down out there.
Dude, I love it.
Sometimes literally holding on the tripod, like, almost, like holding it down, like I'm almost at my wit's end. Not mentally, but just physically. I'm like, man, we might hit the end here.
Today's the day.
Oh,
shit.
fuck. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for checking out the stream. Be sure to check out Stuke at Stuke.racing on Instagram. Don't forget Brandon. It's Brandon Gardner 404.
Not 44. I'm not Lewis Hamilton. Let's relax now.
404.
Let's
And then
relax.
always Herbie Media. Go check them all out. And